Can they hear me at the jail now, though?
Ask them.
Can you all hear me at the jail?
No, they can't.
Okay. All right, very good.
You see that?
Oh, now it's
See
studying.
that
Okay.
far monitor over there?
Yes, sir.
As long as there's a picture in there, that means that we're streaming live over the Sunset.
But we're not supposed to for the juvenile.
Right, so if we push that,
Push it off. All right, good morning, everyone. We're here for first appearance court. Do we have someone at the main jail? I believe it's Miss Lawrence, but I'm not sure.
No.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Okay. Lindsay, hello.
Miss Lawrence?
Yes.
Okay, nice to meet you. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, we're ready to begin. We're going to skip the first person on the docket. We're waiting for the victim to arrive, and we're also going to need a Spanish interpreter who's present here in the courtroom, so we'll skip Ms. Fernandez for now. Moving on to Nicole Vargas. Where's Ms. Nicole Vargas?
I don't think there's
Thank you.
Oh.
All right, thank you. Nicole Vargas?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you need an interpreter, ma'am?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So Ms. Vargas is being charged with a battery. Reviewed the probable cause affidavit. I do find probable cause. Any information from the public defender?
Yes, Your Honor. I spoke to Ms. Vargas this morning. The alleged victim's her boyfriend. The two of them have been together for 3 years, but Ms. Vargas advises she can stay with her parents in Hollywood so she can stay apart from the alleged victim. Meanwhile, she recently began working at Hard Rock Casino as a cashier. She does not have any money in the bank. She does believe her parents might be able to help her a little bit with posting a monetary bond. I only have access to the court's clerk system. The only thing I could see in Ms. Vargas's past are traffic tickets and traffic citations. I would ask if Your Honor would consider releasing Ms. Vargas on non-monetary conditions.
Anything from the state?
Judge, the defendant is showing no Broward priors. I am asking for a $500 bond, or in the alternative, some type of ankle monitor.
Ms. Vargas, do you think your family could manage a $500 bond? Yes?
I'm not sure.
Okay. What we can do at this juncture is I'll go ahead and issue a $500 bond. And then she can always be put on a second look docket if she's unable to post that bond after getting with her family. So ma'am, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna list you as a $500 bond for right now. If for some reason your family's unable to post that bond, you can be placed on the docket again in a few days, and the judge, a different judge can make a decision as to whether to lower it even more or not. But I'm also going to require, as part of that $500 bond, that you have no contact with the victim, either directly or indirectly. Means you can't have any family members or friends contact. Is it a him?
Yes.
Contact him. His name is James Gibson. You can't have any contact with him, either directly or indirectly. You can't text him, write him, email him, phone him, any of those things. You understand that?
Judge, his name is Joseph Gibbs.
Joseph Gibbs?
Yes.
Okay.
It's James Gibbs.
James, the probable cause affidavit says James.
James Gibbs, I apologize, Your
Okay,
Honor.
all right, so it's James Gibbs, no contact either directly or indirectly. I'm also gonna require that you have no alcohol during the terms of your release. Do you understand that? Yes? Okay, you can comply with those things, you'll be fine, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Can you write these things in here? Okay. Thank you. No contact order and no alcohol. All right, the next person on our list is Claudia Herreros.
Judge, just so you're aware, the victim is here on the first case that we passed.
Oh, okay. Well, that kind of already
Yeah,
Claudia.
that's fine.
Okay.
I just wanted
Where
to-
is Claudia Herreros?
Right here.
Main jail, Your Honor.
Main jail. Thank you. All right, Ms. Lawrence, you have Ms. Herreros there with you. I've had an opportunity to review the probable cause affidavit. I do find probable cause unless you have an argument.
Hold on one moment here. Sorry, I just got the probable cause affidavits a moment ago.
Your Honor, I'll make the probable cause argument. Sorry.
Oh, you do,
Yeah, Ms.
okay.
Lawrence, she'll deal with bond issues.
Okay, so Ms. Lawrence, your co-worker here, Mr. Dressler, Destler, sorry, is reviewed all the probable cause affidavits. If there are any probable cause arguments, he said, indicated to me, he'll let me know. At this time, I am finding probable cause, and I just need to hear the recommendation for a bond.
Your Honor, it is my belief that this is Miss Claudia's first charge. She does live with the victim. They have 3 children. Oh, sorry,
Four.
4 children together. So I would be asking if you can ROR her and have no harmful contact.
All right,
In order,
well,
because she would have to go home to this same residence with the victim.
I don't know about that. I understand that there's 4 children involved in this matter, but I don't know that letting her go back home is the ideal situation. Ms. Herreros, do you have someplace else you can live?
Do you have somewhere else you can live?
Yeah.
Or if the victim's willing to vacate the residence for the time being until this matter can be resolved one way or another.
Okay.
It does, yes, ma'am.
I was gonna say, she did indicate that he has family here, that he might be able to vacate the premise.
Okay. According to the probable cause affidavit, it indicates that the victim refused to provide a sworn tape statement. Has the state had any contact with the victim in this matter?
Yes, Your Honor. The victim has no safety concerns.
He has no safety concerns?
Your Honor, you could order no harmful contact.
What's the state's position?
State's asking for $1,000 bond with no victim contact, Your Honor. It is my understanding that the victim does not have safety concerns, but they do share kids in common. I don't think it's healthy for them to be fighting and hitting each other in the presence of the children.
All right, that paper, the fact that you're moving those papers right in front of the microphone is very, no problem. If you want to do, you're welcome to do it, just hit the mute button if you're going to continue to do that.
Okay. No, it's fine, it's fine.
And this is their first offense?
Yes, Your Honor, no Broward priors.
Okay, all right, I'm gonna issue a $500 bond with no harmful contact, given the circumstances of the case as well as the state having contact with the alleged victim in this matter, and he indicating that he has no safety concerns. Ma'am, your only concern is gonna be if this continues to escalate, DCF could get involved and your children could be removed from your custody. So you and the father of your children need to figure out whether you all need to separate for a little while or have him go live with some other family members while this all calms down. I don't know, but at this juncture, all I can do is what's before me, and what's before me is I'm finding probable cause and issuing a $500 bond with no harmful contact. So if the two of you get into an argument again, it's gonna be you that's gonna be violating that court order, and you could be placed back into custody. Do you understand that? Yes? Okay. Good luck to you, ma'am. Okay. All right, we're gonna go backwards on the docket and see Ms. Fernandez, and we have the victim present.
Yes,
Sir, you wanna come up to the podium here, please? And the Spanish interpreter?
Okay.
Where's Ms. Fernandez? She here?
Sí, sí, yo necesito interpretar.
Yes, I need an interpreter. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Luz Angela
morning.
Lopez.
Okay, we're gonna take this one step at a time here. I know it's difficult with the microphones. So first, we're going to swear the interpreter. So, please raise your hand. Do you solemnly swear that you will truly and accurately translate from Spanish to English and English to Spanish to the best of your ability?
I will, Your Honor. Luz Angela Lopez, LPEZ, certified Spanish interpreter for the courthouse.
All right, thank you. And so, does the defendant also need an interpreter?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so it's gonna take us a few moments.
Señora, la señora juez acaba de juramentar a la intérprete.
So everyone will just please wait until the interpreter interprets everything before they begin speaking again.
Por favor, todos vamos a esperar hasta que la intérprete haya interpretado todo para luego empezar de nuevo.
All right, we have the victim here. Sir, can you state your name for the record?
Tenemos a la persona víctima aquí presente. Por favor, señor, diga su nombre completo.
Sí, mi nombre es José Montano.
All right,
Yes, my name is José Montano.
can you please raise your right hand,
Levante
Mr.
su mano
Montano?
derecha.
Do you
Para ser
solemnly
juramentado.
swear or affirm
¿Usted jura o afirma
that the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
Sí,
que el testimonio que usted dará en este momento será la verdad.
sí, es la verdad.
Yes, that is the truth.
All right, thank you. I have had an opportunity to
He tenido
review
la
the probable
oportunidad
cause affidavit,
de revisar el affidavit de motivo fundado
and I do find probable cause.
y encuentro un motivo fundado para detenerla.
So the question here today is what the bond amount will be is to release Ms. Fernandez.
Entonces, la cuestión aquí será, ¿cuál será el monto de fianza que le vamos a imponer? Si es que le podemos imponer una fianza para que la señora Fernández salga en libertad.
And the victim does have input as to what decisions I make here today.
Y obviamente la persona víctima también tiene una opinión o puede decir algo para que la señora juez tome una decisión.
And that includes whether to let the defendant, Ms. Fernandez, have any contact with the victim.
Y esto incluiría que si es que la víctima desea que la señora juez le permita a la señora Fernández tener contacto o comunicación con la víctima.
So before I hear from the defense,
Antes que yo pueda escuchar por parte de lo que quiera decir la defensa,
I'd like to hear from you, sir, as to whether you would like to have a no contact order against Ms. Fernandez.
quisiera primero escuchar por parte de usted, señor, qué desea decir en cuanto a es que usted desea que haya contacto o comunicación con la víctima o que no haya contacto o comunicación con la víctima.
And whether you're okay with her being released.
Y si usted está de acuerdo, además de esto, que la dejen en libertad a ella.
Sí, sí, yo no quiero que ella tenga problemas. Nosotros fue normal, un desacuerdo normal de familia y yo no quiero que ella tenga problemas. Ella tiene 2 hijas.
Momento, señor.
Yo,
Momento, señor. Yeah, I don't have any problems. This was just a misunderstanding. She should be out, and we have 2 daughters together.
Okay. All right. Does the Ms. Fernandez have any prior background?
No, Your Honor.
Pregunta a la fiscalía si la señora Fernández tiene algún antecedente penal. La fiscalía habla, no, su señoría, no hay antecedentes.
And what's the state's recommendation for a bond?
State's recommending $500 bond, no harmful contact with the victim.
La fiscalía habla, recomiendo que impongan una fianza de $500 y que haya contacto que sea sin causar daño, que haya contacto, comunicación, pero sin causar daño.
Does Ms. Fernandez have the ability to post a $500 bond?
La señora Fernández tiene la posibilidad o la capacidad de pagar $500 de fianza.
Say that into the mic.
Señora, la señora abogada defensora ya presente le está diciendo que si va a decir algo que lo diga.
No entendí la pregunta.
I did not understand the question.
Do you all have any money to post a bond for this, for her to be released?
¿Ustedes tienen dinero para pagar esta fianza para poder salir en libertad?
Yo no.
No.
yo lo voy a pagar.
I am going to pay
Yo
it.
lo pago.
You'll pay it?
I'll
Okay.
pay it.
All right,
Yo lo pago.
very good.
I'll
All
pay
right,
it.
so I'm gonna go ahead and accept the state's recommendation for a $500 bond. And the two of you, the 2 of you need to have no harmful contact with one another. That means you cannot, during the case, while this case is pending, you cannot get into any more arguments or disagreements. Do you understand?
Voy a adoptar la recomendación de la fiscalía. Le impongo $500 de fianza para que usted salga en libertad. Mientras que este caso está pendiente, señora Fernández, usted no puede tener contacto o comunicación que cause daño. Usted no puede continuar manteniendo estas discusiones.
You understand?
¿Comprende, señora?
Sí.
Yes.
All right, good luck to you both.
Buena suerte a ambos.
Also, Your Honor, I need a photo order.
A photo order, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
All right.
La señora juez, la señora abogada defensora le pide a la señora juez que por favor le dé una orden o que firme una orden para que le tomen fotos de las lesiones.
Thank you. Thank
Gracias.
you. Thank you for the interpreter. All right, we have an attorney here on a case we're taking out of order. I apologize, counsel. We have Emilio Fernandez. Emilio Mister Fernandez. Oh, there he is. Okay, thank you.
Spanish interpreter.
Spanish interpreter, thank you. I think it's on 4, I'm not sure.
4.
I don't, no one gave me a copy of the docket, so I don't know.
Thank you, Your Honor, that was perfect.
Okay. All right, so, sir, we have hear an interpreter for your assistance?
Señor, habla la señora juez. Señor Fernández, aquí hay una intérprete para prestar los servicios de interpretación.
If you
Thank
don't understand what's being said or can't hear, please let us know.
Si usted no puede entender lo que se esté diciendo o no puede escuchar o oír, por favor, infórmenos.
All right,
That's fine.
I have had an opportunity to review the probable cause affidavit,
He tenido la oportunidad de revisar el affidavit de motivo fundado
and I do find probable cause at this time.
y encuentro motivo fundado para detenerlo.
If I could ask the attorney who's present to please state his name and who he's representing.
Scott Margulies, Judge. I represent the victim, Stephen Steinfeld.
El señor abogado aquí presente, abogado de la defensa, la señora juez le pide que por favor anuncie su presencia y a quien representa. I'm so sorry, what was your name?
Scott Margulies.
Scott Margulies es el nombre del abogado y representa a la víctima.
All right, thank you.
Gracias.
If I can hear from the attorney regarding the circumstances of him being here and any recommendations of the victim, please.
Está pidiéndole al señor abogado defensor aquí presente que por favor explique a la señora juez cuál es la situación en la que él está aquí, que él está representando a la víctima, qué es lo que él desea.
Judge, we're asking that there be a no contact order, that he not be allowed to return to the residence at 3094 South Oakland Forest Drive, apartment 1705, Oakland Park,
I'm
Florida.
so sorry, 14. Okay. El señor abogado defensor pide a la señora juez, por favor, que no haya contacto o comunicación con la víctima, que no le permitan al acusado regresar al lugar de residencia. Y da la dirección 3094 South Oakland Forest Drive, apartamento 1705, Oakland Park, Florida.
Or at the victim's employment, which is at Broward General Hospital and Cardiac Cath Lab,
O que ni que,
at 1600 South Andrews.
ni que tampoco le permitan que se acerque al lugar de trabajo de la víctima, que es en Broward General Hospital. Da la dirección, I'm sorry, did you give the address?
Cardiac.
Es la parte del centro cardíaco, el laboratorio.
No contact at all with the victim, Judge, and I understand that he has some property in the house, specifically, his wallet and passports, and I will take that for him, and he can certainly get that from me as soon as he is released.
Pide el señor abogado defensor a la señora juez que por favor no le permitan que tenga contacto o comunicación con la víctima, que usted tiene algunas pertenencias que están en esa casa, como por ejemplo su billetera, su pasaporte, que el señor abogado con gusto las va a tener y que usted puede ir a recogerlas por parte de él.
And do you have any input as to the bond amount that you wish? No?
No, Judge, we just want no contact with the victim.
And do you have any concern that if he's to be released from custody, that he would violate that no contact order?
No, Judge, I think he'll understand and stay away.
La señora juez pregunta al señor abogado defensor, ¿y usted tiene alguna opinión en cuanto a qué fianza se le debe imponer? El abogado defensor dice, no tengo ninguna opinión en cuanto a esto. Y también pregunta si él tiene alguna opinión en cuanto a si es que se debe dejar en libertad al señor acusado y si cree que usted podría regresar allí. Dice el señor abogado, no, yo no creo, yo creo que él ha aprendido una lección con esto, no creo que vaya a regresar.
And Ms. Lawrence, I don't know if you've had an opportunity to speak with your client regarding his monetary ability to post a bond.
Le pregunta a la señora abogada defensora ya presente si ella ha tenido la oportunidad de hablar con usted, el acusado, en cuanto a averiguar si es que usted puede pagar una fianza o no.
Ms. Lawrence, have you had an opportunity?
One moment, I'm just trying to translate because he doesn't speak English.
No problem.
He says that he can afford $300 for bond.
Okay, and does he have any background?
No, Your Honor, he has no Broward priors.
Any
I'm so
Go
sorry.
ahead.
La señora abogada defensora ya presente le indica a la señora juez que usted puede pagar $300. Preguntan a la fiscalía si hay algún antecedente penal suyo. Le indica a la señora juez que no hay antecedente penal.
Any objection to a total of a $300 bond with a no victim contact?
Yes, Your Honor. As to count one, state would be asking for $300 bond, and as to count two, that is a third-degree felony, state would be asking for a $2,000 bond. In the alternative, if Your Honor is wanting to place him on electronic monitor, that would be sufficient for state.
La señora fiscal estaba hablando, la señora juez pregunta si tiene una objeción en cuanto a que le impongan una fianza de $300. Dice la señora fiscal, sí señoría, porque yo recomiendo que le impongan una fianza. Perdón, señor, ¿está escuchando? I'm sorry, Your Honor, the defendant seems to be talking while the interpreter is interpreting. I'm not sure if
You heard everything.
the defendant is listening or not. La señora fiscal habla, dice la señora juez que ella sugiere que le impongan una fianza de $300 para la primera acusación. La segunda acusación es un delito de tercer grado, un delito grave de tercer grado, que por favor le impongan una fianza de $2,000.
Anything else from?
I'm so sorry, Your Honor, the interpreter missed the last part. Señor, y que si le van a dar otra alternativa, entonces que por favor lo pongan bajo los servicios especiales de la Corte con un monitor electrónico.
My understanding in posting bonds is if it's over $1,000, then they can use a bondsman for 10%. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Habla la señora juez, entiendo que cuando la fianza es de más de $1,000, pueden buscar un fiancista para que pague esa fianza y ustedes pagan un porcentaje. Sí, su señoría.
All right, so if you let him know, I'm not inclined to put him on electronic monitor because I don't know if he has someplace to live where we can utilize electronic monitoring.
La señora juez habla, no le voy a imponer una fianza, no creo que deba ponerlo con un monitor electrónico porque si usted no tiene un lugar donde vivir, necesitamos saber por qué vamos a ponerle este equipo electrónico.
So, sir, based on the ability for you to post $300, if I require over $1,000 total bond for you, you can use that money with a bondsman and still be able to bond out, even though the amount will be higher.
I'm so sorry, Your Honor. The interpreter is not sure. The interpreter understands. Your Honor says, I understand that you have the ability to pay $300, that if it's more than $1,000,
A bondsman
you may find a bondsman.
that
And then-
will only require 10%.
Right, Your Honor. Okay. Señor, dice la señora juez, habla la señora juez. Como usted ha indicado que usted tiene la capacidad de pagar $300, entonces ella va a imponer $300, pero que si le fuesen a imponer más de $1,000, usted podría utilizar un fiancista para que pague el 10% sobre la fianza que le impongan.
Sir, can I be assured that you won't have any contact with this particular victim if I release you?
Señor, si yo lo dejo en libertad a usted, ¿usted me puede asegurar que usted no va a tener contacto o comunicación con esa persona, con la víctima?
Exacto.
Exactly.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead at this time and require a $50 bond on count one, a $250 bond on count two for a total amount of $300. And sir, you're to have no contact with the victim.
Señor, en este momento la señora juez habla. Le impongo una fianza de $50 para la primera acusación, $250 para la segunda acusación, para un total de $300 y le ordeno que no debe tener contacto o comunicación con la víctima de ninguna manera. ¿Entiende, señor?
Ok, sí, entiendo.
Yes, I understand.
You're also not allowed to go back to the house
¿A usted tampoco se le permite regresar a esa residencia, a esa casa,
or see him at the hospital.
o verlo a él en el hospital?
You can make
Exactly.
you can make arrangements to retrieve your belongings,
Usted puede hacer los arreglos para retirar sus pertenencias
and you can do that either through the attorney
y usted lo puede hacer ya sea a través del abogado de esa persona
or with the assistance of law enforcement.
o con la ayuda de los agentes de la policía.
Do you understand?
¿Comprende, señor?
Sí.
Yes.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Buena suerte, señor.
Judge, is there a way I can provide him a telephone number to call me?
What we can do is,
I can leave a card, is that possible?
with who? I
I
can't,
know,
I can't get it to him.
El señor abogado defensor estaba hablando, pidiéndole al señor juez que si es posible dejarle un número de teléfono a usted aquí en la corte para que usted se comunique con él.
Miss Lawrence, can you jot this number down for him and provide it to him before he leaves?
Le pide a la señora abogada defensora que escriba el número de teléfono.
What's,
305-933-8933 is the office number.
And what's the attorney's name?
just call the number and he'll,
Okay.
and he'll be
They'll
able
take
to make
care
the
of it.
arrangements, okay? All right,
Ok,
thank
señor, el
you.
señor abogado le ha dado el número de teléfono a la señora abogada defensora para que usted lo llame.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Gracias.
All right, moving on, Carlos Perez. Mr. Perez, you speak English?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good,
Yes,
just
Your Honor.
checking, we had a little run with the interpreter, we were making her work hard for us. All right, so we have Mr. Perez is here on a domestic battery charge. I have had an opportunity to review the probable cause affidavit. I do find probable cause. Has the state had any contact with the victim?
No, Your Honor, at this time, Steve has had no contact with the victim. This defendant does have priors, Your Honor.
And what are those priors, please?
From 2007, a felony battery, great bodily harm. 1996, possession of cocaine, exposure of sexual organs. No, I'm sorry, Your Honor, that was dismissed. 1998, a battery, and 1997, a battery.
Okay, what's the recommendation of the state regarding a bond at this time?
State is recommending a $1,000 bond, Your Honor.
Okay. Anything from the defense?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Perez is not currently working, so he wouldn't be able to afford the $1,000 bond. He has a hernia and a rotator cuff issue. He has been a resident of Florida since 1974, and he's been with this victim for 20 years.
At this time, I'm gonna go ahead and accept the recommendation of the state for a $1,000 bond. There's also going to be a no victim contact order, either directly or indirectly, sir. You're not to have any contact, even though you're alleging to have been in this relationship for all those years. At this juncture, you're not allowed to have any contact with her, either directly or indirectly with the Corrine Grasso. If you try to reach her, call her, email her, text her, or have any of your family members or friends do the same, that you would be in violation of your pretrial release. Do you understand that, sir?
I understand, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, the next is Ryan Whitaker. All right, Mr. Whitaker has two, actually, this is, appears to be ad charges, 5 and 6. There's also a there's also a violation of probation hearing that's coming up on October 17th at 8:30, and that's regarding count 6, the violation of probation or community control. So, sir, on that issue, I have no authority to change that no bond hold, but you'll see your judge in a few days. In the meantime, what's the state's recommendation regarding charge 5 for a bond?
State is recommending a $2,000 bond, Your Honor. He does have many priors, if you'd like me to read them for the record.
Any objection to the $2,000 bond, given the circumstances of the no bond hold?
Yes, Your Honor. He says that he can't afford that bond.
Well, the circumstances, and sir, I can appreciate that you may not be able to afford it at this time, but you do have a no bond hold anyway. What you can do when you see your judge on the 17th is, if the judge decides to release you on that violation of probation, you can ask the judge to reconsider the other bonds that you have right now. But you have a total of 6 charges against you, so I don't know that this particular charge is going to make any difference on your ability to bond out. So I'm going to go ahead at this time and accept the state's recommendation, with an understanding that you can readdress that with your assigned judge. I was actually considering a higher bond, so I'll take the state's recommendation of the $2,000. You're to have no contact with the victim, either directly or indirectly. You can't call them, text them, write them, have friends or family members try to call a Don Grimsley. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you, sir. Don Grimsley. No problem. All right, next we have, what do we have here? Brian Little John Altador? Where's, thank you so much. Good morning, Mr. Altador. We are, good sir, we are here on a matter, it appears from my review of the paperwork that this appears to be a downgraded charge, but that there's also other multiple charges pending for Mr. Altador. Am I correct in my review of the paperwork?
Yes, Your Honor.
Hey, what's the state is he already being held on other charges and other bonds?
It's showing that he has a no bond hold on him, Your Honor, from Judge Siegel.
Okay.
There is a change of charge from the ag battery pregnant female, and it's now being changed to a battery.
Okay, but there's other charges associated with this case, correct?
Correct, Your Honor. There's a tampering with witness, which is a felony, resisting with violence, which is a felony, or resisting without violence, and another battery, Your Honor. And then he also has a pending case, possession of heroin. And then other priors, if Your Honor would like me to read.
And he also appears to have a hearing scheduled with Judge Siegel on the 17th, which is a few days from now. What's the recommendation regarding this one battery charge for a bond?
The previous bond was set at 5,000 and the second felony.
It's been downgraded to a misdemeanor. State would be recommending a $500 bond. We've had no contact with the victim.
I have no objection, Your Honor. Count 4 is a no bond hold. On the other counts, I don't know how many counts are in total, but I added it up. It's a $25,000 bond on all the other counts. I have no objection to $500.
Okay. All right, so Mr. Altador, unfortunately, it's this exercise in futility at this juncture, because you have the other bonds and you have to see Judge Siegel regarding those. So this is just mainly an administrative matter. You originally were charged with a felony. Now they've downgraded this particular charge to a battery, a misdemeanor. Okay. So I'm going to set this at a $500 bond. You also have still have a no victim contact order, which you already had in place. So you understand that continues as part of your conditions of release. Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Good luck to you, sir.
All right, have a good day, ma'am.
You too. Next, we have Jesse Stephen Gray. Where's Mr. Gray? What jail? Maine? Thank you.
Maine.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Gray has an out-of-state felony hold. So, Mr. Gray, there's nothing I can do regarding that out-of-state hold. They appear to want you in the state that, I believe it was Michigan, was it, or?
Minnesota.
Minnesota, thank you. So on that issue, you will be held until you're brought to an extradition hearing shortly. In the meantime, I do need to deal with the battery charge that you are being charged with here in Broward County. I have had an opportunity to review the affidavit. I do find probable cause at this time. Given the circumstances of the case, has the state had any contact with the victim, and what's your recommendation for a bond?
Judge, we've had no contact with the victim. We left a voicemail. State's recommendation would be a $1,000 bond at this time. He's showing no Broward priors. I'm unable to look up out of state priors.
I can appreciate the state's recommendation. I happen to disagree with it. I think a $1,000 bond would be a little on the low side. Anything from the state, from the defense?
In light of the fact that he has a Minnesota hold, no. He said that he can't afford anything anyways.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and issue a $5,000 bond here for our Broward case, as well as the no contact order. Sir, you understand that you're not had to have any contact with the victim in this case, Brenda Murphy, either directly or indirectly. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, can I ask a question, Your Honor?
Ask your lawyer first, sir.
I don't even know where I'm being charged.
I'll find it.
I can get it. I can get it to clerks.
The victim's name on Altador, because it's been redacted.
Oh, it'll be redacted on folks. It will?
It wouldn't.
Yeah, it's gonna be redacted. I'll show
I know, but I can get into the confidential stuff.
On that I can't.
I know, I just,
5,000, correct? 5,000
Yes.
no contacts.
all right, Ms. Lawrence, did you want him to ask that question or no? Or were we able to help
His
him?
question was just why, you recommended a higher bond than the state, that's why, his question was.
Sir, the reason I did is because of your outstanding warrant from the other state that appears to be similar to the charge that we have here. I do believe that it would probably be best to include a $5,000 bond. Now, if the state of Minnesota decides not to extradite you and they drop that charge, or they decide not to go forward on that charge, the judge that's assigned to your case, on the Broward case that I just gave you, has the right to lower your bond if they see it fit, or if the victim comes in and says they don't want to, that they don't want to, move forward on the charges. So at this juncture, it doesn't, at this point, as your lawyer indicated to me when we were chatting, what I do here today really isn't going to affect you much, because you are being held, but if something changes in the future, your judge can adjust that bond depending upon the circumstances, and they may decide to lower it for you, I don't know. Okay?
Okay, Your Honor.
Take care, good luck to you, sir. Next, we have James Walter Thomas. Mr. Thomas has 3 first names. Good morning, sir. All right, Mr. Thomas is here on 2 charges, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, dating violence, and battery as well. May I hear from the state, please?
Yes, Your Honor, state is recommending a $7,500 bond as to count 1, $500 bond as to count 2. He does have priors, which include a 2011 resisting without violence, possession of cannabis, 2012 delivery of cocaine, possession of cannabis, misdemeanor amount, possession of drug paraphernalia, 2015 resisting without violence, a trespass. That's it, Your Honor.
All right. And the state's recommendation for bond?
$7,500 as to count 1 and $500 as to count 2. We have no contact with the victim at this time.
Thank you. Anything from the defense?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Thomas has a medical wound from this. He was stabbed. He also informed me that he can't afford any bond. So, in light of that, I would be asking if he could be released on pretrial and a lower bond than what was stated. It appears that although not all, but most of his charges are drug-related, his prior charges. So, in light of that, I would ask if you could reduce the bond amount.
All right, thank you. I'm not inclined to reduce the bond. I actually was considering a higher bond, but I'll go ahead and accept the state's recommendation at this time. I'll go ahead and set the bond on count 1 at $7,500, the second count at $500. No victim contact. Mr. Thomas, you need to make sure that you have no contact with the victim, either directly or indirectly. No telephone calls, text messages to a Sharon Wright. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes.
And any violation of that would result in your bond being revoked, and contempt proceedings could be brought against you. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Your Honor, I'm asking for a photo order, Your Honor.
That's fine. We'll do a photo order. Thank you. Next, we have Peter Maxey. Mr. Maxey, good morning. You've been charged with a tampering with misdemeanor proceedings and battery, domestic. I have had an opportunity to review the probable cause affidavit. I do find probable cause. May I hear from the state regarding Mr. Maxey's background and what your recommendation is?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm trying to, he has a prior battery, 2011. As regards, we have no contact with the victim. State is recommending $1,000 bond at this time, Your Honor. With regards to count 2, with regards to count 1, state's recommending a $1,500 bond.
Anything from the defense?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Maxey can't afford any of those bonds because of this incarceration. He lost his job.
Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right, sir, I'm gonna go ahead and set your bond at $1,500 for count one, $1,000 for count two. You're to have no contact with the victim, either directly or indirectly. You're to have no contact with, I'm sorry, the victim's name.
Rebecca Ward, Your Honor.
Miss Ward. You have no contact either directly or indirectly with Miss Ward. You can't call her, text her, write her, anything of that nature. Do you understand that, Mr. Maxey?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Good luck to you, sir. And, you have that victim's name? Or do you need it? Okay, great. Okay. Next, we have Claude Williams.
No fraud, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Williams. I see here that this appears to be additional charges. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is charges 5, 6, and 7. These charges being a burglary of an unoccupied dwelling, unarmed, a battery charge, and a violation of a pretrial condition. Apparently, there may have been a no-contact order in place originally that appears to now have been violated.
That's all true, Your Honor, and it appears that he's being held no bond on that, pretrial release condition.
Okay? And that was signed by the division judge?
That's what's showing.
It's a hold for magistrate to set a bond, Your Honor.
Thank you, that's what I thought. So, what's the state's recommendation regarding counts 5, 6, and 7?
I'm sorry, Judge, I'm trying to pull up the priors. Hold He does
Okay.
have a pending aggravated battery against a pregnant female, ag assault deadly weapon, which is case number 1611219 CF10A. He also has a robbery by sudden snatching, which is case number 175531 CF10A. That also includes a battery. And
Did you say one of those was open still?
both of them
Your
are
Honor, he's
open.
already in custody on those cases.
And has his bonds been revoked on those
They were
cases?
surrendered, counts 1 and 2 is no bond. Counts 3 and 4, the robbery by sudden snatching is 10,000. The tucker strike is $1,000.
But the other two case numbers that the prosecutor referenced, I understand the bonds have been surrendered, but is he being held no bond on those?
He's being held no bond on the aggravated battery.
Aggravated battery on a pregnant female?
Yes.
Okay,
That entire case is no bond.
okay, thank you. State's recommendations regarding these bonds?
As to count 5, state recommends a $10,000 bond. As to count 6, state recommends a $2,000 bond. And as to count 7, a $1,000 bond.
Okay. Anything from the,
Your Honor, he is being held no bond on count 1 and 2, so he's not gonna bond out. I would just ask maybe on count 5 to lower to $5,000. The other two, count 6 and 7, the state's recommendation's fine. Either way, he's not gonna be able to bond out.
I understand, but, I have a different take on what you all are suggesting on this particular instance, given the circumstances and the history and the fact that there's been some allegations of new law violations while out on bond on the other matters. I'm gonna go ahead at this time. Sir, you're to have no contact either directly or indirectly with the victim in this matter. Her name being what?
I can find
Miss Randall? Kanoia Randall, you're to have no contact with her either directly or indirectly. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know if you've been told this in the past or not, but allegedly you have been told this previously, and they're actually alleging in one of the counts against you that you violated that no contact order. It's just gonna keep causing you more problems if you have any contact with this person. I'm not saying you have, but I'm just letting you know you can't have any contact with her. You can't have your friends or family try to text her, contact her in any way. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, and with the robbery, sudden snatching.
Oh, wait,
He
before,
said,
oh, you have a
Okay,
question?
okay.
Yeah, I just wanna make sure you know you're being recorded and not to say anything about your case, but do you have a question about it on the robbery, sudden snatching, what?
yes, ma'am.
What's your question?
You said for count one, when she was pregnant. I'm going to court for that right now.
I understand that, and they've got separate bonds on those. The only things I'm dealing with today is the allegation that you went into the home, that there was a battery, and that you violated your no contact order. So on count 5, I'm setting a $50,000 bond. On count 6, a $5,000 bond. On count 7, another $5,000 bond. You have no victim contact with her, sir. Good luck to you, okay? Thank you. Moving on to Justine Madison Jakes.
No problem.
Thank you. Ms. Jakes?
Your Honor, the ticket was issued while the victim was in custody.
Can you hold on just a second for Ms. Jakes? Tanya, the victim's name on this is in the probable cause affidavit attached, okay? Thank you. All right, so Ms. Jakes, sorry, I apologize. And you were telling me what happened now?
The ticket was issued while the defendant was in custody.
So she didn't miss a court date because I'm not following the information.
The jail does not transport to the satellite location,
Okay,
so she had a
so that's why she missed her court date, because she was in custody?
Yes.
Okay, but she has,
other cases pending, Your Honor. She has a possession of cocaine, which is case number 1615092 CF10A, which also includes a possession of drug paraphernalia, and also a possession of cocaine, which is 174842 CF10A. It does appear that she's being held no bond on this 2016 case.
that's the paperwork I have as well. And so this case right now is the underlying misdemeanor capias was a driving while license suspended?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I can reinstate the $1,000 bond on that. Okay? All right, so ma'am, you'll see Judge Duffy regarding your felony cases, and at some point, someone will deal with your misdemeanor case, okay? I believe now that will be transferred to, Central because of the felony cases?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, now we have, Cassandra Robinson.
No problem.
Thank you. Ms. Robinson, if you come to the podium, good morning, ma'am.
Your Honor, just to inform the court, this is a municipal ordinance, so I cannot represent her on this case.
Okay, so Ms. Robinson, you do have a right to have an attorney represent you at this and all hearings. The Public Defender's Office can't represent you on this matter because of the type of case that it is. It appears to be a carrying, yes, a municipal ordinance carrying an open container. Are you interested in resolving your matter here today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Can I hear the state with regards to Ms. Robinson's background?
Yes, Your Honor. She also has a pending case, which is 177615 CF10A, which is a Bat Leo and a resisting without violence. Her prior record includes a 2010 disorderly intoxication, a 2011 petty theft, a 2011 possession of cocaine and possession of drug paraphernalia, a 2012 DWLS, 2013 possession of alprazolam, possession of drug paraphernalia, offered to commit a lewd act, 2014 possession of cocaine, possession of cannabis, possession of drug paraphernalia and DWLS, 2015 a battery, 2016 possession of cocaine and possession of heroin, the pending Bat Leo and resisting without violence, and then she also had a 2017 battery on a child that was recently pled, Your Honor.
And does she have an upcoming hearing on the open case right now?
Yes, I can give you the date. One moment.
December 2nd, ma'am.
December 2nd?
Yes, ma'am, in front of Judge Rothschild.
Ms. Robinson, I don't know what to do here. I was considering resolving your matter here today, but now I'm not quite sure that I'm going to.
Ma'am, I've totally changed my life. I've been in rehab. I've been doing the right thing. I don't know what else I can tell you, but I'm trying to change my life, and I've been doing very good for a little while.
Okay, well, I mean, I understand that sometimes things happen and relapses occur, but at this juncture, given the fact that you have an open case pending right now, I think it's best that I just maintain the case as is. You have $100 bond on this one, and if you can't bond out, they'll put you on a second look later on, for another hearing in a few days, but I'm not willing to resolve your case today, okay?
Okay, ma'am, you have a nice day, ma'am.
Thank you, good luck to you, ma'am. All right, we have, Melanie Marion Minor, M-I-N-E-R.
Northbound, Your Honor, if I could just inform the court, I spoke to
Wait.
Ms. Minor this morning.
Okay,
The original date that Ms. Minor was scheduled for was September 11th of 2017. Court was closed that day for Hurricane Irma. Her date was rescheduled to the following Monday, September 18th, which was the first day the court was back in session. And so Ms. Minor was just never noticed, but they scheduled her arraignment for the 18th, changing it from the 11th, and so she didn't appear. There's no notice in the court system that shows that it was sent, and quite honestly, I'm not sure how they could have sent notice during that week. We were closed all week, and Ms. Minor also advises me she can't afford the $250 bond. I'm asking Your Honor if you would consider releasing her ROR. We have a date we can give her, which is going to be October 19th at 1:30, but from the court system, that's what I'm seeing, and I don't think it's right to hold her.
I agree with you, counsel. Ms. Minor, we happen to have your next hearing date with us right now. We can give it to you. If you're understanding that I'll release you on your own recognizance with the understanding that you're being given notice of the next hearing date, you have to show up for your hearing on that date, otherwise the warrant's gonna be issued again, okay?
I will, ma'am.
All right, so listen very carefully, okay? It's the 19th of October. Yes, ma'am.
You're gonna release her, because the reason we set this date on docket is it's an in custody, status. If she's to be released, I have to delete this date, and, we're gonna have to notice her. If you can get her address, and if the address is correct right here on the face,
Okay,
that's where she's gonna receive her next notice, but,
Okay.
All the dates on the docket for the misdemeanor.
and what judge is she assigned to?
Judge Levy,
Okay,
she has no future date because it shows that the Keithius was served in
Okay.
custody.
ma'am, we have an address for you right now. Actually, we don't really have an address for you, a permanent address for you. Do you have an address that we can send you a notice, because this, I'm being told if I release you,
I will show up.
I know, but the problem is if we release you, this date that we have on the paperwork on the 19th is gonna be canceled, and they're gonna give you a new hearing in the future. So me giving you a hearing date right now isn't gonna work. Do you have some place where you can be contacted?
Yes,
What's the address?
it's,
While she's
Well,
thinking, oh,
ma'am, but let me just ask you a question. You have the option to stay in custody and go to the hearing on the 19th if you want
No.
to, no? Okay.
no, ma'am.
Your Honor, what I was gonna say is, because given the situation, it's not like she willingly missed court.
I know, I agree
And
with you.
so we can ROR her, and we can make it, that we tell her today, it's on the record, she needs to call the clerk of court on Monday or Tuesday next week. If she doesn't have access to a phone on her own, she could go to any public library, she could ask any friend to call the clerk of court, but borrow the phone, she could get her date that way. She understood when I spoke to her this morning. She advised me of the issue, and then I looked it up and double checked. She knew that she had that date on September 11th, but the court was closed,
Okay.
and there was just no notice sent to her. So I'd
Okay.
ask if you would ROR, and then it's
Ma'am.
on her to contact the clerk.
Ma'am,
will call.
okay, I'm RORing you today.
Thank you.
But if you don't call, the lawyer's not gonna be able to make this argument for you in the future, and you will be held next time, you understand?
I will call.
Okay, all right, you know what to do, yes?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank
I'll
you.
release her on her own recognizance with the understanding that I believe that she missed her court, did not willfully miss her court date. We have, Miss Alvarez.
Her bond, I've been notified that her bond been posted.
All right, thank you so much. I'll find probable cause on Ms. Alvarez. Sophia Scarlett, Labaria?
North Bragg, Your Honor, she needs a Spanish interpreter.
Thank you so much. We have the Spanish
Spanish
interpreter.
interpreter present, yeah.
She's already been sworn for the
Yes, Your Honor.
record. All right, so ma'am, we're utilizing the Spanish interpreter for you.
Señora, estamos utilizando los servicios de la intérprete para usted.
If you don't understand anything or can't hear us, please let us know.
Si usted no puede entender o escuchar, por favor, infórmenos.
There's not
Okay.
very much
Okay.
there's not very much I can do for you today
No hay mucho que yo pueda hacer por usted hoy,
because you're being held on a violation of probation.
debido a que la tienen bajo custodia por una quebrantación de una libertad vigilada.
The judge who's assigned to your case asks that you be held, no bond,
El juez que le asignaron para ese caso que puso esa orden de, esa libertad vigilada, pide que por favor la mantengan bajo custodia y no pueda pagar una fianza para salir.
until you can see that judge.
Hasta que usted pueda ver a ese juez o vaya ante ese juez.
You will be seeing the judge next week on October 17th
Usted verá a ese juez la próxima semana, el 17 de octubre,
at 9 o'clock.
a las 9 de la mañana.
At that time, you can speak to the judge
En ese momento usted podrá hablar con el juez
about possibly releasing you.
acerca de la posibilidad de dejarla en libertad.
Do you understand?
¿Entiende, señora?
Sí.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Good luck to you.
Gracias, señora. Buena suerte. Thank you.
Miss Brahmer.
Lost route, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good morning, Miss Brahmer.
Good morning.
I have four charges that I have pending before you right now. Because of two of them, there's really not much I'm going to be able to accomplish with you today. Two of them, counts 3 and 4, are capiouses for a case number 176428 CF10A that you are being requested to be held no bond on those. You do have a court hearing date with the judge on those cases on October 25th at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. In the meantime, you do have 2 other charges, a false ID given to a law enforcement officer, and a possession of PVP, which carries with it a $1,000 bond. So you are being held no bond until the October 25th date, and then you can have that other bond. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, good luck to you, ma'am. Joanna Martin?
Good morning, Your Honor.
All right, good morning, ma'am. How are you?
All right, good morning.
Unfortunately, I really can't do much for you today. It appears that you have 2 violation of probation charges pending before you, and the judge that's assigned to your case has asked that you be held no bond until you're brought before that judge. That judge being Tim Bailey. You do have a hearing coming up, though, in a few days with Judge Bailey on the 17th of October at 9 o'clock. You'll see the judge then, and he can make a decision as to whether he's interested in releasing you or not, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, good luck to you, ma'am. Erica Lewis? Bonded? I find probable cause. Moving on next, Rachel Fernando.
Lost route, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Fernando, are you present? Thank you. Good morning. Ma'am, you're being charged with an aggravated assault on a police officer, firefighter, etc. I have had an opportunity to review the probable cause affidavit. I do find probable cause. If I can ask the state about Ms. Fernando's background and what you're recommending for a bond.
She has no Florida priors, Your Honor. This is a second-degree felony. State is asking for a $10,000 bond.
Anything from the defense?
Your Honor, I did not get the chance to speak to Ms. Fernando yet, so I would ask if once you issue a bond, if we can inquire, she'll be able to afford it. I just don't want to ask out of her.
Yeah, it's kind of hard for me to set one without knowing what her ties to the community are or anything like that.
So I'm inquiring now, though.
That's fine. So ma'am, we're gonna put you on recall so your lawyer can speak to you for a moment. We'll call you back to the podium as soon as your lawyer has a chance to talk to you. They're gonna give you access to a phone so that you can speak to him, okay? Okay, do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, we'll get back with you in a moment, all right? All right, in the meantime, we're gonna move on to Juliet Jean. Where's Juliet Jean?
Lost route, Your Honor.
Thank you. Miss Jean, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, you've been charged with neglect child without great bodily harm. I have had an opportunity to review the probable cause affidavit. Any argument regarding the probable cause?
Yes, Your Honor. Reading the facts of this, it seems that there were two juveniles that were in some sort of fist fight, and Miss Jean was there. She was not one of the people actually fighting, and the alleged victim doesn't seem to be Miss Jean's child. It was a third child. I don't see how she had a duty to jump in between. The probable cause affidavit doesn't list who the actual aggressor was, which child it was that started the fight. We would have to assume, because the probable cause affidavit does not tell us. And again, I do not believe Miss Jean or really anyone has a duty to break up any fight that they come across, and I really don't see how Miss Jean would have any duty to a third person in a situation like this. I just fail to see how this is child neglect.
Any argument from the state?
Judge, I guess the state would be asking for 48 hours to perfect this probable cause affidavit.
Does the statute require that you have a custodial duty to the child? And my reading of it indicates that Miss Jean and her juvenile cousin were involved in this. I'm not familiar with the statute, so I'm not sure if, according to the probable cause affidavit, it appears that Miss Jean encouraged her juvenile cousin to become involved in this.
I could read the statute that's being charged, Your Honor, which is 827.032D. It says a person who willfully or by culpable negligence neglects a child without causing great bodily harm, permanent disability, or permanent disfigurement to the child. I don't see how this is negligence. I don't see how this is necessary willful. She didn't act. She wasn't part of the fight.
But she encouraged the fight.
We don't know how it started.
I understand that, but I don't know that I have to know how it started. All I have to know is whether there's probable cause to believe that she encouraged a child to be neglected by her encouraging another juvenile to become involved in a fight.
I would agree with that. After reading of the statute, but based on her encouraging the person to go after the other person, it does seem that the statute's been satisfied.
Yes.
I mean, what she's being charged with, the alleged victim isn't her cousin, it's the third child, which may have been the aggressor. We don't know. We would have to assume if the third child actually started this fight, we can't want Miss Jean to jump in to break up the fight. We don't want self-help like that. There's policy reasons
I don't
against
believe that the charge is because she didn't jump in. I think the charge is because she encouraged the person to continue to fight.
I believe a family member would want their own family member to end the fight as quickly
Okay,
as
ma'am,
possible.
then please don't talk about the facts of your case because we are being recorded here. We're just talking about whether what is alleged in the police report would warrant a charge against you, okay?
Okay.
The probable
Let me
cause
see.
also doesn't list how they have that quote. I don't know who that came from. I'm assuming it's not from the officers. The officers don't say they were on the scene. I don't know how they got that quotation.
The video footage was captured of the incident which showed the defendant provoking Bartle and also had hair pulled out of her head, provoking the physical altercation and not attempting to stop the altercation or render aid in any way to Howard. I respectfully decline your request to not find probable cause at this time. I do believe that there's sufficient probable cause at least. I don't know how the case is going to play out, but at least at this juncture, I do believe there's probable cause. Does Miss Jean have a background?
She has a 2015 driving while license suspended, Your Honor.
Given the facts, Your Honor, I would ask for her to be put on pretrial release.
Would she qualify for pretrial release?
Her charges typically do not, Your Honor, but I refer to Your Honor, we will gladly supervise if you order us to place them in pretrial.
Ma'am, do you have the ability to post any type of a bond, a monetary bond? I was considering something low.
Yes.
Do you have the ability to financially to maybe post a bond?
I don't have finance and stuff, but I could call and see if I could get help.
Do you know how much? I'm considering something like a $250 bond and no victim contact. Do you think you might be able to get assistance to post a $250 bond, ma'am?
250?
Yes, ma'am.
I could try.
Okay, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna put it at $250 right now with no victim contact. If for some reason you can't post this bond, you'll be placed on something that's called a second look docket, which means that they'll bring you back in a few days if no one was able to post your bond to see if they can lower it for you, okay?
Thank you.
All right, now, before you leave me, though, you have to understand that you're not to have any contact with this person by the name of, the person that was involved in this fight with your cousin, either directly or indirectly. Do we have this person's name?
I can get it, Your Honor.
I believe it was Howard was the last name. We're gonna get the name of that person for you, ma'am, but in the meantime, you're not to have any contact with the person that was involved in this fight, either directly or indirectly. If you have any contact with them, encourage anyone to call them, text them, write them, anything like that. That will cause you to be violated on your release. Do you understand that?
Yes, I don't know that person at all.
Okay, well, stay away from them if you see them again, okay?
Okay.
All right, good luck to you, ma'am.
I don't have it, Judge, it's not.
Okay, I'll look it up.
I'm sorry.
No worries. $250.
Thank you.
Okay. Ivan Delgado Martinez. Where's Miss Martinez?
Interpreters required.
Good. I just wanted to, we have some folks in the audience, I wanted to know what case they were on. 12?
21.
Okay. Okay, I'll get to you guys in just a moment, okay? We'll take you out of turn. Where did, Ivan Delgado Martinez, can someone tell me what jail, Miss Martinez? Maine, thank you.
I think we need a Spanish interpreter.
Do we need an interpreter?
Yes.
Okay. Madam Interpreter?
Yes, Your Honor.
You've been sworn
Spanish
already?
interpreter is present. Yes, Your Honor.
Can you let the defendant know that if she can't hear you or understand you, to please let us know?
Señora, si usted no nos puede escuchar o entender, infórmenos, por favor.
Sí puedo entender.
Yes, I can understand.
Okay, just a moment.
Un momento.
Can you mute that? Yeah, thank you. Let me just get the victim on this last case. Yeah, where's that case number for this person? I don't even see it on the paperwork.
Un momento, señora.
The Jean case, what's that case number, please? Okay. I don't see it anywhere in the paperwork.
I can get the case number.
The current case you talking about, Your Honor?
No, ma'am, the case before.
Jean, right?
Yes.
17
I'm sorry, 17.
11678 CF10A.
Thank you. There's nothing on this case. Right, so I can't even look at I can't look up the victim's name either. Okay. Okay,
I wonder if, I have one other place I can look quickly.
okay. You'll let the clerk know if you find it. All right, let's go back to Ms. Delgado Martinez. I apologize.
Señora Delgado Martínez, le pido disculpas.
All right, so ma'am, we have multiple charges here against you.
Señora, tenemos ante la juez varias acusaciones múltiples.
A total, the first charge is driving while license suspended habitual.
La primera acusación es de estar conduciendo con una licencia suspendida y usted la han declarado infractora reincidente.
Second is misrepresenting payroll or class workers to avoid diminished or, sorry, it's a workers' compensation fraud. I apologize.
Señora, la segunda acusación es, tiene que ver con compensación laboral, de presentar información falsa o la clase de trabajador para disminuir. Es un caso de compensación laboral.
The third charge is obtaining property over $50,000 by fraud.
La tercera acusación es de obtener propiedad por encima de los $50,000 por medio de estafa.
The fourth charge is fraud, money laundering.
La cuarta acusación es estafa de lavado de dinero
Over $100,000.
por encima de $100,000.
And then we have 2 traffic infractions as well.
Y luego tenemos dos acusaciones más que son de tránsito.
These charges carry standard bonds.
Estas acusaciones conllevan que se le imponga una fianza estándar.
The first bond is $750.
La primera acusación tiene una fianza, se le puede imponer una fianza de $750.
The second bond is $30,000.
Para la segunda acusación, la fianza será de $30,000.
The third is $20,000.
Para la tercera acusación es $20,000.
The fourth is $20,000.
Para la cuarta acusación es $20,000.
The fifth is $1,000.
Para la quinta acusación es $1,000.
And the last one does not carry a bond.
Y la última no conlleva que le impongan fianza.
This would total $71,000.
El total es de $71,000.
$750.
$71,750.
Is the state requesting that I reconsider any of these bonds?
No, Your Honor, does Your Honor have the affidavit that was already signed by, I wish I could tell you who the judge was, but I don't know what the signature is.
Habla la señora fiscal, la señora juez pregunta a la señora fiscal, ¿quiere que vuelva a reconsiderar esas fianzas, esos montos? La señora fiscal dice que no, que que no está segura quién firmó esa affidavit para esas fianzas.
Anything on behalf of the defendant regarding a reduction of these bonds?
Pregunta por parte de la defensa, ¿tienen alguna opinión en cuanto a la fianza?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Delgado Martinez informed me that she can only afford a $2,000 bond. If you keep these bonds at the number that they are, it would be essentially paramount to no bond for Ms. Martinez.
La señora abogada defensora habla a la señora juez. Sí, señora juez, la señora Delgado me informa que usted solo puede pagar $2,000 de fianza, que si dejan las fianzas como están, como las han impuesto, sería lo mismo que como si no le hubieran dado una fianza para salir en libertad.
And ma'am, I'm sorry, but based on the information that I have in this arrest warrant, I'm unwilling to change these bonds, so they're going to be maintained as is.
Lo siento, señora, pero según lo que veo aquí, perdón, en los affidavits de motivo fundado, debo dejar las fianzas como se han impuesto.
And in order for you to post these bonds, you'll need to make sure that you're able to show that they have nothing to do with the funds that are being alleged to have been stolen.
Señora, y si usted puede pagar esas fianzas, usted tiene que tiene que demostrar por medio de pruebas que los dineros que va a utilizar para pagar la fianza no son los mismos dineros que usted utilizó para la estafa.
I'd also like to make the court aware that she does have a pending case as well, which is case number 1711652 CF10A, which is a felony DWS.
La señora fiscal habla. También usted tiene un caso pendiente en este momento. El número del caso es 1711652CF10A, que es el delito es de estar conduciendo con licencia suspendida.
And I don't have the arrest warrant in front of me any longer. Is the allegations in this case predate the arrest on the felony charge?
I'm so sorry, Your Honor.
It's case number 1711652 CF10A.
Does not count one? Or am I reading it incorrectly?
La señora jueza ha preguntado a la señora fiscal si este caso.
It's not going to make a difference on this situation. That's count
It
one?
is,
Okay.
it's
Un
showing
momentico, señor.
differently on here. I'm
So-
Un
sorry.
momentico.
No problem.
No hay problema.
It was an error, ma'am. We were just gonna leave everything as is. Good luck to you.
Era un error. Vamos a dejar todo como estaba. Buena suerte, señora.
You're saying the KPS was an error?
No, I'm saying that what the state attorney was saying about a pending case was an error.
Está diciendo que lo que dijo la fiscal de que había un caso pendiente fue un error.
Yes, Anebia, yes, ma'am.
I am so sorry, the interpreter is not here.
That's
It's
okay.
required an Nevia.
They were good. Yeah.
Está bien, sí.
I can write a Nebia requirement.
Okay.
Do you have an
Thank
order
you.
for me to write?
Your Honor, so you know, we could go back to Rachel Fernando. She was two.
Can, I know, but we'll hold on to her for
That's
just a
fine.
moment. We have some folks in the audience that have been waiting for a while for someone on what page was it? 21, Sean Hunt. Can we find Sean Hunt, please?
Main jail.
Thank you. Mr. Hunt is present. Mr. Hunt is being charged with a robbery by sudden snatching without a firearm or weapon and resisting officer without violence. We have someone present here. Ma'am, you want to state your name for the record, please?
Erica Creary.
And how are you related to Mr. Hunt?
He's my son.
All right, thank you for being here today, ma'am. I'll hear from you in just a few moments as to what, anything you want me to know regarding his bond status. In the meantime, I have had an opportunity to review the probable cause affidavit. I do find probable cause, unless the public defender has any argument as it relates to that. I didn't notice anything that was deficient. We're doing Sean Hunt. He's on page 21 of the document. Can the state tell me about Mr. Hunt's background, please?
He has no priors, Your Honor.
Okay, and that includes no juvenile priors?
I'm unable to see that.
Okay, I can look. All right, so, ma'am, what we're here for today is basically just to determine whether what kind of a bond I should release him on. So if there's anything that you'd like to let me know, either favorable for Mr. Hunt or unfavorable for Mr. Hunt, I would want to know that at this time. Things that we're looking for are, does he have a stable place to live? Does he have any kind of criminal background? Do you have the ability to help him post a monetary bond? Do you think that if I were to release him on some sort of ankle monitor or some type of supervision, that he would maintain and not get himself into any more trouble? So those are the types of things that I need to know about. Is there anything you'd like to let me know?
Well, I'm unable to post a bond at this time. Me and my husband just had a baby. Also, we have other children younger than him at home. He actually was supposed to bring his social and ID to start a job, well, to give the information so he could start a job, starting Monday. I don't know if he was gonna start Monday, but she spoke to him and told him come in at 11 o'clock and bring his information, so he was gonna get a job. I think ankle bracelet, I think that would be a good idea.
I also see that according to some of the information I have here, that he has some open cases, does he have an open juvenile case pending right now?
If you're gonna discuss the juvenile, I'd ask that it not be on the record.
Okay, all right.
I'm not gonna say what it is, but he says it's in like a pretrial division.
Diversion.
He's in a diversion program, correct?
Yes, ma'am, okay.
And he goes to that, he's in good attendance with that. He's actually almost done with that.
Well, unfortunately, though, we've got a problem now, and not only is the problem not being in the juvenile system, is now in the adult system. You have a stable home that he can maintain at if I were to put him on some sort of electronic monitoring?
Yes, ma'am.
And you have a telephone number that you would be able to utilize to set up the electronic monitoring?
Yes, ma'am.
What's the state's position regarding a bond for Mr. Hunt?
State is requesting a $7,500 bond, Your Honor.
I get a bond?
Hang on, sir. I'm just asking the state for their recommendation. Anything else from the defense?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Hunt does live with his parents. He's in school in the 12th grade. He has no job, so without his family being able to post, which you just indicated that they won't be able to afford it, Mr. Hunt would be unable to post any type of monetary bond. So I'd ask if Your Honor would consider some type of pretrial release, such as the monitor that you were just discussing. But it's a pretrial, like a monitor.
If you all give me just a moment, please. Ma'am, I can appreciate some of the things that you're telling me, but I'm looking at this other matter, and it just recently happened a little while ago as well. So given the totality of the circumstances, I think Mr. Hunt needs some sort of a monetary bond on top of some sort of an ankle bracelet if you're able to afford the bond. But I'm gonna post a lower bond. You can use a bondsman, and you only need to, if you use a bondsman, post the 10%. But I need to make sure that Mr. Hunt understands the severity of all of this and what's happening to him, because this case that he has pending right now, the state attorney's office can pull that into the adult arena as well. So he could potentially be in a lot of trouble right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and require a $1,500 bond on count one. And I also would require ankle monitor if he were to make that bond. That way, if he makes the bond and he's on the ankle monitor, if he really does have a job, then he'll still be able to go to job and school. But as his mother, you need to understand the severity of all of this, and he could be in serious trouble.
I understand.
Okay. Also, he's not to have any contact with the victim that's alleged to have had this telephone stolen from him. I don't know if he knows who this person is, but he's not to have any contact with the victim in this case. There's two people listed there. The phone is Miss. It looks like a Miss Pace and a Miss Sampson.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is to have no contact with either of these folks, either directly or indirectly. No telephone calls, no text messages, no friends trying to reach them, nothing like that. Do we understand that, Mr. Hunt?
Stand up.
Okay. And then the ankle monitor, I'm sorry, you were asking me about? No guns, no weapons of any kind, okay?
What about count two, Your Honor? Are you monitoring count two?
It says a no charge on count, yeah.
You said ankle monitor.
Ankle monitor?
GPS or ankle monitor?
Just say, ankle monitor level 2, when she says ankle monitor.
Level 2.
Okay. All right, good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay. Stay out of trouble, Mr. Hunt, if you bond out.
Your Honor, are you waiving the cost for the ankle monitor, or?
I think he should make some sort of a contribution towards that. What's the situation regarding the ankle monitor? How much is it?
$5 a day.
Yes. There is
He
a
need-
fee.
he needs
It's
to
up
pay
you.
that.
It's up to Your Honor if he wants to waive it or not, but.
I'll waive it for the first week, so he can get, for 1 week, so he can find himself a job, but he needs to make a contribution towards that,
He has to report by Monday before 12 o'clock.
if he gets out.
Yes.
Okay, I'll waive it for the first week, but he needs to find a job somewhere, doing something legal, okay? All right. All right, Raquel Fernando, going back to Ms. Fernando. Right, thank you.
Let me get a moment.
No problem.
Okay, all right, so have you had an opportunity to speak with Ms. Fernando,
Yeah.
Ms. Dessler, Mr. Dessler?
Yes, Your Honor, I spoke to Ms. Fernando. What she advises is she lives with her mother, her father, and her brother down here in South Florida. She works, she makes about $9 an hour. She has about $1,000 in the bank, and she's unsure if the family's unable to help her, and I believe we spoke about when we called the case initially. I don't see any priors on the clerk system. I don't think the state said they saw any priors. So her ability to forward a monetary bond is limited. I would ask Your Honor to consider a $1,000 monetary bond.
Anything else from the state?
Just based on the charge at hand, Your Honor, it is a second-degree felony against an officer. I'm asking for $10,000.
I understand. I'm gonna go ahead at this time and find probable cause and state the bond at $2,500, either cash or using a bondsman. So, ma'am, good luck to you.
Thanks.
There's something wrong with this control panel. If you'll bear with me for just a moment, I might have to go off the record and go back on. There's something, all the jail icons have disappeared from my screen here, so I can't switch jails. I'm gonna go off and go back on again to see if that'll reboot it. Okay, I think we're back on. I can see the main jail. Can you hear me there?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, thank you. It's fine. For some reason, it just all disappeared. Okay, so we have Miss Frenes.
Yes.
Is she there at the main jail?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am. Can you pronounce your full name for me, please? I don't want to butcher it.
Joania Frenes.
Frenes, thank you so much, ma'am. All right, we're here with a driving while license suspended, third or subsequent offense, and an expired motor vehicle registration, which I don't have to address, and the standard bond is $750. I do find probable cause. State fine with me leaving the bond as is?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what about the defense?
Your Honor, she cannot afford any bond. She has no job. She has 2 kids under the age of 18. She lived in Florida her whole life. I'd ask if you'd consider some type of pretrial release.
Does she have a record?
Yes, Your Honor. She has a 2002 theft, 2004 burglary, criminal mischief, 2003 battery, another battery, 2004 tag violation, another DWLS, a 2006 DWLS, a 2006 resisting without violence, and a 2007 habitual offender DWLS.
And I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
And she also has juvenile crimes warrant, FYI.
Okay. At this time, I'm not inclined to lower the bond. I'm gonna leave it at the $750. Good luck to you, ma'am. Lenore Noah?
North Broward.
Thank you. All right, good morning, Ms. Noah. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna be able to help you much this morning because you do have 2 violations. Actually, you have a violation of probation here. You do have a court hearing with your judge on October 17th at 9 o'clock. That judge has requested that you be held no bond until you see them, so you can speak to that judge. Judge Hussein on the 17th. You also have a possession of cocaine, which carries with it a standard $1,000 bond. I do find probable
Your
cause.
Honor, that cocaine, that was not cocaine, that was deodorant.
Okay,
That
well,
was a piece of deodorant.
well, then you'll be able to let Judge Hussein know that when you see him this week on the 17th. I'm gonna hold you at this time until the violation of
Thank you, Your
probation.
Honor.
Okay,
Thanks.
take care. Vanessa Smith?
Good morning, Your Honor. Ms. Smith is at the Paul Ryan facility.
Thank you. Switching to Paul Ryan. Good morning, ma'am. We're here for you on a possession of cocaine and introducing contraband into a detention facility. I have had an opportunity to review the paperwork. It appears that these are add charges to charges 6 and 7, to charges that you already have pending. Am I correct in that matter?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And with the 2 new charges, they have an additional $1,000 bond on each. I do find probable cause. Anything on behalf of Ms. Smith?
Your Honor,
No?
one of the counts is a no bond hold, so there's
Okay.
nothing I could do for her.
All right, so Ms. Smith, unfortunately, you're being held on a no bond hold in some of the other counts, so there's really not much I can do for you. You'll talk to your assigned judge to see if you can either resolve your case or get your bonds lowered, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you, ma'am. George Bowers?
Yes, he's at the Conti facility.
Thank you. Good morning at the Conti facility.
morning.
Good morning, Mr. Bowers. I
Good
have
morning.
2 capiases here on 2 separate misdemeanor charges, both of them carrying a $500 bond. Their counts 3 and 4, they're add charges. One of them is a trespass, well, actually, both of them are trespasses. I'm assuming that he's already been through bond court regarding his other 2 charges?
He has a bond of $100 on both count 1 and 2. And so unfortunately, he's in this situation where he can't afford to post bond on even the first 2 counts, let alone these, but we only have these 2 counts on the docket today. And so I don't think we can resolve all 4 of his counts because we only have counts 3 and 4.
Well, given the circumstance, because of these, is he gonna just will he get a hearing date soon on the other on all the other charges, or no? These are all the 2 that are in front of me are trespass charges?
Yes, Your Honor.
And when did he come through court on the other 2 charges? Do we know? Are his other 2 charges trespasses as well?
One trespass, one open container. She came to magistrate September 1st.
September 1st?
Yeah.
He has no date.
Well, not the theft one. Is the theft one? Did you mention a theft case?
No, open container, she said.
I heard the open container, but what was the first thing you mentioned? Trespass.
It's 4 municipal ordinances.
There are 4 municipal ordinances? And he hasn't come back on a second look? Okay,
He had some traffic infractions.
okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right, Mr. Bowers, unfortunately, it doesn't appear that I'm gonna be able to assist you this morning, really, because you have so many other charges. No matter what I do today, it's not gonna be able to affect your other charges. It's probably best that all of these cases be brought before the assigned judge or assigned to one judge, and that way you could try to resolve them all at one time. Does he have an upcoming hearing on any of his cases?
He has an arraignment October 9th at South Satellite Courthouse in front of Judge Backman.
Well,
Past the 9th, Judge.
that's past the
I
9th, right?
just-
More than likely, he's gonna have a court date next week, and they're gonna tag along all the
Those
cases.
cases, okay, that's what usually happens. So, sir, you probably have a
October
court date
19th.
I'm sorry, 19th?
October 19th.
Okay, terrific. You have a court date on October 19th. They're gonna pull all of your cases together next week and put them in front of one judge, and you can see at that time whether you can resolve all of these matters at that time. So you have till the 19th, unfortunately, okay?
30.
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
your hearing's on the 19th at 1:30. Thank you, counsel. Okay, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Leonardo Sierra,
Yes, ma'am, that's me.
North Broward.
thank you. Switching to North Broward. Good morning, sir. You have a capias here for trespass.
Yes, ma'am.
Is this a municipal or is it a,
No, this is a misdemeanor, Your Honor.
okay? And this one's carrying with it a $500 bond. Anything on behalf of Mr. Sierra?
Your Honor, I spoke to Mr. Sierra earlier. He would, he's interested in resolving the case today if you're willing, Your Honor.
I would need to know what kind of background he has first.
He has a 2002 battery, 2002 unlawful use of a false name, lewd and lascivious conduct, which is a misdemeanor, a 2001 bat Leo, a 2007 trespass, a 2008 burglary, which he did 33 months in prison for, a criminal mischief, which was a misdemeanor, That was declined, my apologies. A 2013 battery.
I'm not inclined to resolve this matter today. Sir, you have a $500 bond. Good luck to you. John Nullally?
Main jail, Your Honor.
Thank you. Switching to main jail, thank you. We have a misdemeanor capias for this gentleman on a charge of petty theft with a $500 bond. Anything on behalf of the defendant, Miss Lawrence?
Yes, he's inclined to resolve this case if Your Honor would entertain a resolution. He's looking for some type of probation.
I typically wouldn't do that unless I know for sure he doesn't have any prior thefts that they could change their mind and upcharge it.
He has a 2003 grand theft, a 2007 petty theft, a 2008 petty theft, a 2008 petty theft and trespass.
I'm not inclined to do that today. Council, give the state an opportunity to review this matter and see if they want to change the charge.
Mr. Nolly has no job, Your Honor. He's lived in Florida his whole life, and this coming week he has an appointment on Monday for a job interview. So he would like the ability to try and have a reasonable bond or pretrial release. That way he could make that appointment to get a job. And also, Your Honor, Mr. Nolly, what he said is that originally this petty theft was charged like a civil infraction, and that he washed that piece of paper, and then he was unable to see the date on the paper, and he attempted to get the date, but was unable to get the date for the next court date.
And it appears that the store representative advised he did not wish to prosecute the defendant after the defendant returned the merchandise. Did he miss a court date? Is that what?
Yes, ma'am.
He missed a court date. Do you have someplace to live, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that the address that we have on the paperwork here?
Yes, ma'am. 233 Northwest 20th Terrace.
In Miami?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, I can't have you missing court dates. I mean, even if you lost the paperwork, you have a responsibility to follow up with the court system, call the clerk's office and find out. And it's information that's online. You can just look up. You can look it up online for free. You can go to you can go to the library. You can do something to make sure that you don't miss any court dates.
Yes, ma'am. The attempt that I made was I come back to Sawgrass Mill Mall to the substation Sunrise. But the lady that gave me the paper, and I tried to retrieve the paper right there. I didn't know anything about I could call the clerk.
Yeah, you can call the clerk's office. You can even look it up online. Go to the library. You go to the clerk's office. You pull up your name. It'll give you your next hearing date. Okay?
Yes,
Okay. I'll release him on his own recognizance. And sir, you need to make sure you don't miss, because you have an address that we can send your next notice to. You got to make sure you don't miss the next one. This will be your last chance at it. Okay?
Yes, sure.
And then you can talk to that judge about resolving your case, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's what was on there. Okay. Good luck to you, sir. Mr. Michael Phelps?
In main jail.
Thank you. Mr. Phelps, it doesn't appear I can do much for you today. It appears that you've got a violation of probation, and the judge assigned to your paperwork asked that you be held no bond until you could be brought before Judge McHugh. So you're going to be held, and a hearing will be set on your behalf, okay? Good luck.
You can't put it on the docket, Your Honor?
To be set in misdemeanor DV, MD, division MD. No, Judge McHugh does all of those, so I can't give him a date.
Okay.
Okay? They'll pull him up and give him a date. George Williams?
Your Honor, Mr. Williams is at the main jail. He would be inclined to resolve if you would consider it. This is his first offense for driving with license suspended.
I
He has priors from 2011, Your Honor, if you'd like to hear them.
Well, I'm just looking at his driver's record right now, and I'm not inclined to resolve this matter, even though this may be his first driving while suspended. He's posted at $100 bond. You wanna let me know about his ability to post the bond?
Yeah, he said he can't afford the $100 bond.
What's his record?
Because of the need.
What's his record?
2011, possession of cannabis, misdemeanor amount, possession of drug paraphernalia. Another 2011 case, which was a petty theft and a possession of cannabis.
That last one's for what years?
2011.
In light of those priors, Your Honor, would he be considered to ROR him?
I'm tempted to do it as long as I can get an assurance from Mr. Williams. It'll stay away from being behind the wheel, sir. I understand if I release you on your own recognizance, I want to see you back behind driving anything, nothing, nobody's friend's car, nothing. Do you understand that? Okay, and is this address that we have for you in Lauderhill at 3350 your actual address?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you'll receive a notice of hearing for your upcoming case. I'll go ahead and release you on your own recognizance. If I find out that you drive after today's hearing, I won't be happy. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Michael Bodor?
He bonded, Your Honor.
Thank you, I do find probable cause. Daniel Sullivan?
He's on medical loan.
Medical reset? We'll see if we can see him tomorrow. Looking forward to it. All right, John Hildegard?
He's on medical loan.
Oh, sorry. Do I sign it? No. Oh, okay, sorry. I apologize. Delton Tompkins? Mr. Tompkins, good morning. You have a charge number 3, looks like an ad charge, capious misdemeanor, set at $1,000 bond. This was a cannabis charge.
Your Honor, would you be inclined to resolve this?
The count 3, I don't know what else.
It's attached to a felony.
It's attached to a felony.
Okay.
How is that possible? It's on a misdemeanor case. Hang on just a second.
Oh, he has a pending felony.
He has a pending felony.
1710851 CF10A. I think this is just the ad charge to it, and they.
And Your Honor, he was also in custody at the time the case was issued.
I'm not following you all. If you can explain it to me. So he has a felony charge pending?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And so is this a separate misdemeanor case that is alleging a separate incident date?
Let me pull up the PC for that so I can check the.
I think when I looked earlier, I think it's just an additional misdemeanor added on to the case by the state.
But they accidentally.
That they
gave the
opened
case
up
number.
another
That's-
case number.
That's how I'm reading it too, Your Honor. But I think it's gonna be attached to its felony.
And how is that gonna mechanically happen?
They end up, if that is the case, then you end up null processing the misdemeanor case here and merging it into the felony.
And will they notice that when they bring them to the felony hearing? When's this felony hearing?
I'm pulling that up right now.
I think that's the only thing holding him in custody because he bonded out on.
He says it's on the 23rd.
Of this month? And so, sir, did you bond out on the felony charge?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So if they're all the same thing,
This is an old charge.
okay.
It's showing it here as an ad charge.
That's just the ad charge because it was added on the document.
The misdemeanor?
Yes. But I'm not saying it's being added to his felony case. His felony case, he's posted bond.
It's showing on his felony case, he has a status October 23rd, and there was a motion to revoke bond filed. I don't think it's been heard yet at this time.
He says that it's been heard and that the judge denied it.
There's no order to that effect.
It was heard yesterday, so maybe Odyssey doesn't reflect that yet.
Yeah, it's showing in safes. It was heard, but I don't know what the disposition is, but let me look up the cannabis and show if that's a separate.
And sir, they didn't say anything yesterday on your other hearing about this cannabis charge?
No, ma'am, this is an old charge.
And were you in custody when you saw the judge yesterday?
Yes, ma'am. I never got out.
This misdemeanor is in front of Judge Hurley at North Satellite, Your Honor. So because he was in custody, I have a feeling it'll be transferred now. Let's see.
And what was the date of the alleged incident in the felony case?
No, we didn't get any. He came into custody September 22nd.
I know, but I need to know, when was the date alleged of the felony crime, the crime itself? What's the paperwork, what does the PC say regarding the?
I'm pulling it up again, sorry.
No worries.
September 22nd.
He says it's September 22nd.
And that's exactly what the clerk just, what the pretrial officer just told me. So, and this apparently, this marijuana charge, cannabis charge, apparently allegedly happened in July. So that's why they didn't revoke his bond, because this would have been preceding the other charge.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, and you have a court hearing date coming up with the other judge, and you've been going to your court hearings? You haven't been released yet?
No, ma'am, because it was with the pretrial. It was something with pretrial.
Okay, and the felony charge, you have a bond on that already?
I bonded out on it already. I just couldn't get out.
You couldn't get out because of this, okay.
Doesn't have crimes, Your Honor.
Get out because of this, because he was in custody. That's why this
Was issued.
this case. So that's what everybody's trying to tell you. He was in custody when the KPS was issued.
Okay. So are you asking I reduce this bond amount?
If you can ROR him on this, Your Honor.
Okay. I don't have a problem with that.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Good luck to you, sir. Sebastian Garcia Lucas.
Mr. Garcia Lucas is at the Paul Ryan facility and he needs a Spanish interpreter, please.
And Your Honor, I'm asking to waive the formal reading of the charge.
Okay.
The interpreter is present, Your Honor. Señor García Lucas, el señor abogado presente le pide a la señora juez que por favor que ustedes abandonen el derecho a que les lean las acusaciones.
Based on my review of the paperwork,
Basada en el haber revisado los documentos
the charge number 4 that we're here on today
para la acusación número 4 por la cual estamos aquí hoy,
is part of a case that has already come before the court,
es parte de un caso que ya está ante la corte.
and there's additional charges that are being brought.
Hay acusaciones adicionales que se han añadido a este caso.
There is a hearing date scheduled before the assigned judge
Hay una fecha ya asignada para que vaya ante ese juez
on October 17th
el 17 de octubre
for counts 3 and 4.
para las acusaciones 3 y 4.
Based on my review of the paperwork,
Basada en la revisión que he hecho de los documentos,
I do find proof evident, presumption great,
encuentro que hay prueba evidente y presunción de gran envergadura
and I'm going to have Mr. Garcia Lucas held no bond
y voy a ordenar que mantengan al señor Lucas que no bajo custodia y que no pueda pagar fianza para salir de la cárcel.
on charge number 4,
En cuanto a la acusación número 4,
and he can address the bond on this charge and all the rest of his charges
y usted podrá hablar de el asunto de la fianza para este caso, para esta acusación número 4 y para las otras
before the assigned judge on the 17th.
ante ese juez que le han asignado el 17 de octubre.
Thank you, sir. Good luck to you.
Gracias, señor, y buena suerte.
I just want to double check, Your Honor. This is a punishable life.
It's a capital
Charge.
felony, yes.
It is.
Un momento, señor. El señor abogado defensor está preguntándole a la señora juez, ¿es acaso este un caso que puede ser castigado con pena en prisión, por vida en prisión? Sí, dice la señora juez.
It appears to be multiple charges.
I know he's being
Parece
held
ser
no bond on
que
the other
hay
counts. I just wanted
varias
to make sure that this
acusaciones.
one was also punishable.
My review of
Quería
it was, yes.
estar segura que sí, que esta es otra acusación por la cual lo pueden tener bajo custodia de por vida.
All right, take care, sir. Thank you.
Buena suerte, señor. Gracias.
Daniel Morgan?
Northburg, Your Honor, he refused, Your Honor.
You refuse. Okay. I have had an opportunity to review the probable cause affidavit. I do find probable cause. I'll note that the defendant refused to participate in the hearing today, which is his right, and I'll maintain the bonds as is. Their charges are for count 8 and 9, dealing in stolen property, and verified ownership, secondhand dealer, dealing with the, in conjunction with the dealing in stolen property. All right. Next is Jeffrey Edwards. Where's Mr. Edwards? Which jail, please?
Main jail.
Thank you. Okay, we have a burglary of unoccupied structure and resisting officer without violence.
When it comes to probable cause on count 2, the resisting without violence, I just don't see it in the probable cause affidavit. I don't see the elements or really even the allegation.
It wasn't charged.
It
No
wasn't
charge.
charged? Oh, no charged, oh, so it wasn't there.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's not being charged with that, I apologize, it just does on his paperwork. And there's no charge, I see the NC, so he's not being charged there, so it's not an issue. So all we have left is the burglary of an occupied structure. Ms. Friedlander, state's recommendation, and this defendant's background, please.
State is recommending a $7,000 bond amount. His background includes a 2013 prostitution lewd act charge misdemeanor, a 2016 same charge, another 2016 offer to procure prostitution, a 2017 petty theft, a 2017 petty theft from transit agency, and a 2017 failure to leave property upon order.
Anything from the defense?
Yes, Your Honor. In light of Mr. Edwards' history, which is mostly very different and non-violent, I would be asking if you consider a lower bond than the $7,000 bond. Mr. Edwards does not have a job. He's been in Florida his whole life, and he has some mental health issues, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
I wanted to clarify, for count 2, he is being charged. The no charge is just for bond purposes.
Oh, okay.
He's not being held on a monetary amount.
And Your Honor, he does have a pending case in front of Judge Hari, which is seems to be another burglary, false ID to a Leo, and a resisting without violence.
And was he out on bond when this allegedly occurred?
Bond was posted on this October 9th, and this occurred October 13th. Yes, Your Honor.
Anything else from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, I do, since the resisting officer doesn't, the defense is correct that there doesn't appear to be anything in the probable cause affidavit that indicates what the, that charge would be. So, as a technicality, I'm gonna find no PC on that. Number 2.
Judge, may I have 48 hours to perfect?
I don't think it really matters, and I'm not gonna call it back to perfect. If you wanna include it in your information when you file on this case, you're welcome to do so. I do want you, however, to prepare a sua sponte order to revoke bond on the other case number that you originally told me about. It appears that while on bond, that the defendant did allegedly participate in another illegal activity causing for the arrest, and I'll go ahead at this time and set the bond in this case for $10,000. Good luck, Mr. Edwards.
Your Honor, I'm asking for a photo order. I see.
That's fine. Lardish Bush. Yes, which the state attorney is going to prepare the order for me.
Main jail, Your Honor.
The other one's no bond, and this one's 10,000. No problem. Yeah, we'll get it done. All right, I'm sorry, Mr. Bush was where? Main jail? Mr. Bush is there.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, so what do we have from Mr. Bush? Mr. Bush, unfortunately, based on your violation of probation charge, which is number 5 on this list, no matter what we do this morning, it's not going to have that much of an effect on you, though you do have a right to have a probable cause hearing on the remainder of your charges. You do have a hearing scheduled before the assigned judge on October 17th at 8:30. The judge assigned to your case has requested that you be held no bond until you're brought before them. In the meantime, you have the following charges: grand theft auto, possession of cannabis, driving while license suspended, first offense, and a ticket charge. The grand theft auto carries with it a standard bond of $1,000, and no bond necessary on the rest. Is that what that means?
Yes.
Okay, so, does the state wish for me to make any changes to this bond amount?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
I do find probable cause at this time. I'll go ahead and maintain everything as is. Sir, you'll see your judge on the 17th, okay? All right, good luck to you. Richard Blackwell? Mr. Blackwell, good morning. We have 3 charges here, reference to you: a grand theft auto, possession of cocaine, and possession of drug paraphernalia. First charge carries with it a standard $1,000 bond, second one $1,000 bond, and the third $100 bond. Anything on behalf of the state regarding altering any of these bonds?
For Mr. Blackwell, Your Honor?
Yes, ma'am.
No, these bonds are okay. He's showing no Broward priors.
All right, anything from the defense?
Yes, Your Honor. It appears that this is a constructive possession case, Your Honor. In light of that, I would be asking if you could reduce the bond for the possession of cocaine and potentially ROR Mr. Blackwell on the drug paraphernalia. He also needs a photo order, and also, Your Honor, Mr. Blackwell did inform me that he has a 1-year-old son, and he has no job, and that he needs to get home in order to take care of his son.
Your Honor, he does have juvenile priors, and he does have a case currently pending in West Palm Beach. 9 counts, 2 trafficking charges, 2 possession charges. Corrupt by threat, resistance without violence, possession of marijuana. That was filed on 6/19 in West Palm Beach.
Okay, so based on the charges that he has in West Palm Beach and the facts and circumstances of this case, I'm going to go ahead and decline your request at this time. His bonds will remain in place.
Thank you, Your Honor. And the photo order?
The photo order is fine.
Thank you.
Thomas Fitzgerald? Mr. Fitzgerald, not much I can do for you this morning. Unfortunately, you do have a violation of probation. You're being held no bond until you can see your judge. Your judge has a hearing date for you on October 17th at 8:30 in the morning. You'll see them then and make a determination if you can get out, okay?
Thank you.
All right, good luck to you, sir. Next, we have Jeremy Leonard. Good morning, Mr. Leonard. Same circumstance, unfortunately. I can't release you today. You do have a violation of probation. Your judge has requested your presence on the 17th at 8:30, at which time they'll review your violation and see if you have any reason to be released, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck to you. Willie Strobridge. Yes.
It's a violation of parole, not probation.
Parole, okay.
It's a 1 count, instead of three. Correct the paperwork.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so, Mr. Strobridge, we appear to have had a little bit of a mistake on some of your paperwork, that this is actually a violation
Oh, thank you.
of parole, and there's only one count of that. That's still gonna cause you to be held no bond, but, we, at least have corrected your paperwork.
And he's just being held, but there's no new charge, correct?
There's a violation of parole
Okay.
that I know of. I don't. And it appears that he may have, based on the allegations contained within the probable cause affidavit, appear to have violated his parole based on what the police officers found in the residence. Okay? So a hearing will be set on the violation of parole.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, on this case number, we didn't put the defendant's name on it.
I'm sorry,
No,
Judge.
no problem.
It's Jeffrey Edwards. Would you like me to correct it?
That's fine. I can put it in. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yes.
2 and 3.
No,
2
there's no,
and 3 are, yeah, they were expunged. Because paroles is one count. VOPs is each case, but a parole is just one charge. So they expunged the 1 through 3 and did just one count of parole.
okay.
I can come over there.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, next we have Ronnie Lee Huggins. Hogan's? Main jail? Your mic is off.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, so, sir, we have one charge for you. It's a grand theft, carrying with it $1,000 bond. I have had an opportunity to review the probable cause affidavit. I do find probable cause. Anything on behalf of the defendant?
No, Your Honor, he believes that the bond was already posted, so.
Anything from the state?
Yes, Your Honor. He does have a pending case, which is case number 172142 CF10A, which had an offense date of June 12, 2015, 3 counts of grand theft and a count of scheme to defraud. It's in front of Judge Uson.
Okay.
He also has other priors.
And is this allegations contained in this probable cause affidavit, after the, allegations contained within the, first case that you're referencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, at this time, sua sponte, going to revoke his bond in the first case number, represented by the state. I'll maintain this bond as is, but his bond is being revoked in the other case. So, he'll be held no bond pending his court hearing date with Judge Husan. Whoever posted his bond may want to, release it, since he's not gonna be released. If it's, oh, it hasn't been posted, sorry, that was mistake information, it hasn't been posted. No, it hasn't been posted, no, okay? All right, we have, Mr. Holloman. Sean Leonard, V.A. Sean Leonard Holloman. Where is Mr. Holloman? Is he coming to the podium?
Main jail, Your Honor.
Thank you. Sir, you have a possession of methamphetamine that carries with it $1,000 bond. Anything from the state regarding Mr. Holloman?
Yes, Your Honor. He also has a pending case, 171502 CF10A, which is a fleeing and eluding, resisting without violence, and no valid DL.
And this is a new charge which would violate the terms and conditions of his pretrial release. I'm gonna go ahead in that case, sua sponte, revoke his bond, find probable cause in this matter, and ask that he be held no bond. Good luck to you, sir. Damian Garvin. Mr. Garvin, good morning. You have four different charges pending right now: a grand theft auto, resisting officer without violence, driving while license suspended, your second offense, and the ticket failure to wear a seatbelt, which would not be an issue for me today. According to the paperwork, the grand theft auto carries with it a standard $1,000 bond, which I can readdress. Anything from the state that you wish to let me know about Mr. Garvin?
He has a prior 2010 battery and a 2015 felony battery, domestic strangulation, Your Honor.
Are you requesting a change in the standard charge
I am
bond?
requesting as to count one, a $3,000 bond amount.
Anything from this defense?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Garvin informed me that this was a rental car, was only 1 day overdue, that both him and his wife were arrested for this offense, so no one is watching their child, and that he can't afford that bond.
Given the circumstances of his priors, I'm unwilling to change the bond, but I won't increase it as requested by the state. That's the best I can do for him. Good luck to you, sir. Octavio Riviera. Sorry, I need to throw. Mr. Riviera, good morning. I have here a robbery.
We need a translator.
Oh, thank you.
Spanish interpreter present, Your Honor.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, my pleasure.
All right, so Mr. Riviera,
Señor Rivera,
we have two charges for you.
tenemos dos acusaciones en contra suya.
Robbery with no weapon or firearm.
Robo sin arma de fuego o arma.
And a battery on a person over the age of 65.
Y de agresión física a una persona mayor de 65 años.
At this moment, we are going to be reviewing the paperwork.
En este momento vamos a revisar los documentos.
And then I need to make a determination as to whether you should be released and under what conditions you should be released.
Entonces yo tendré que determinar si es que lo vamos a dejar en libertad y si lo dejamos en libertad, bajo qué condiciones.
We will be listening to the state attorney. She will tell me about your background and whether you have any prior history in the criminal, any type of a prior criminal history. I apologize.
Estaremos escuchando a la fiscal. Ella nos dirá cuáles las sugerencias que ella tiene y nos dirá si es que usted tiene algún antecedente penal.
Ms. Friedlander?
Yes, Your Honor. He has a prior 2005 DWLS.
El primer antecedente es en el 2005 de estar conduciendo con una licencia que estaba suspendida, de WLS, las siglas en inglés.
Which was in Miami. That's all I'm seeing as to criminal in South Florida. As to count one, I'm asking for a $5,000 bond.
Momento.
And as to count two, a $3,000 bond.
Este antecedente es de Miami, es el sur de la Florida. Ella pide por lo consiguiente que le impongan una fianza de $5,000 para la primera acusación, $3,000 de fianza para la segunda acusación.
No victim contact.
Y que no tenga contacto o comunicación con la víctima.
Anything from the defense?
¿Puede decir algo la defensa?
Can you ask him what type of bond he can't afford?
Señor, pregunta a la señora abogada defensora ya presente, ¿qué clase de fianza puede pagar?
La mínima, yo gano muy poco.
The minimum I earn very little.
Perdón, ¿puedo hablar?
Sorry, may I speak?
He has no questions, Your Honor.
No, dice que no tiene preguntas, dice señora abogada defensora.
Yo nunca he manejado con licencia suspendida.
I have never driven with a license suspended.
What about your ability to, I need to know whether you have the ability to post money for your bond.
Necesito saber cuál es la capacidad que tiene usted para poder pagar una fianza para salir en libertad.
No?
No.
Sí, sí puedo, pero lo mínimo posible.
I can, but the minimum possible.
And the state's recommendations were what?
¿Y cuáles eran las recomendaciones de la Fiscalía?
As to count one, a $5,000 bond, it is a second degree felony, and count two, a $3,000 bond.
Para la primera acusación, sugerí que impongan una fianza de $5,000 debido a que es un delito menos grave de segundo grado y $3,000 de fianza para la segunda acusación.
Sir, whatever bond I set, you have to understand
Señor, cualquier fianza que yo imponga, tiene usted que comprender
that you are to have no contact with this person,
que usted no puede tener contacto o comunicación con esta persona.
Carlos, is it Caprillo?
Carlos Caprillo es el nombre, el apellido.
Caprillo.
Caprillo.
No, you cannot call him, you cannot send him text messages, you cannot go to his home or his work, or have anyone else go there for you. Do you understand?
Señor, usted comprende que usted ni puede llamarlo directamente, ni puede enviarle mensajes de texto, ni puede ir a su hogar, ni a su trabajo, ni mandar a otra persona a que hable por usted.
Do you understand that?
¿Comprende eso, señor?
Yo comprendo.
I understand.
Okay, and if you violate that, you will be brought back to jail and you will be held without an ability to get out of jail until you go to court. Do you understand that?
Usted comprende, señor, que si quebranta esa orden que acaba de dar la señora juez, usted lo van a detener, lo van a traer a la cárcel y no va a poder pagar una fianza para salir en libertad hasta que vea al juez que le asignen.
Yo nunca he incumplido la ley, no voy a violar la orden.
I have never not abided by the rules of the court. I've never violated any rules, and I don't see why I would right now.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Gracias, señor.
I am going to go ahead and set the bonds as were recommended by the state, $5,000 on count 1 and $3,000 on count 2 with no victim contact. Good luck to you, sir.
Voy a imponer las fianzas como lo sugirió la Fiscalía, $5,000 para la primera acusación, $3,000 para la segunda acusación, señor, y no puede tener contacto o comunicación con la víctima.
All right, before we go
Buena suerte, señor.
Before we go to the next person, you can go, sir. Before we go to the next person, it's starting to get a little late in the morning, and I know that the interpreter is only here for a certain time. Is there anyone in any of the jails or that remain that need a Spanish interpreter so we make sure that we can utilize her services efficiently? I don't want her to have to sit here beyond the time that she's normally scheduled to be here. Anyone at the main jail?
No one at Maine.
Anyone at Paul Ryan need a Spanish interpreter? Anyone? Conti, does anyone at Conti need an interpreter? And finally, I'm not hearing anything from North Broward. Anyone at North Broward need an interpreter?
No, Your Honor.
All right, very good. All right, going on to the case of Mr. CACA, Kaka? If I'm saying that
he
correct.
bonded, Your Honor.
Okay. Go ahead and find probable cause on that. Note that he bonded. Moving on to Antonio Brown. Where's Mr. Brown?
Main jail, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Brown. You have three charges pending right now: possession of cocaine, possession of drug paraphernalia, and a capious misdemeanor. Let's see. Does anyone know what that misdemeanor is about?
Judge, I have no booking report for Mr. Brown.
I see carrying an open beverage, I think, in his paperwork.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that's what the capious is about, yes. Okay, so Mr. Brown, the possession of cocaine charge carries with it a typical $1,000 bond. There's nothing relating to the possession of drug paraphernalia, and there's currently a $100 bond on the capious. I would be interested in resolving the open container, if you wish to, for time served on that, and then we can deal with the other two cases if you're interested in doing that.
you be interested in resolving the open container to?
For a withhold time served.
Okay. He'll do that, Your Honor.
Okay, and then do you have anything regarding the possession of cocaine at the $1,000 bond?
What were his priors?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
Brown. Antonio. Oh, he must have, when we were passing the paper backward, we got out of order. Sorry, Mr. Brown, you were supposed to be
here
our
he
last
is.
one, but we got you out of order. So I'm confusing everyone. Excuse me for a moment while we let everyone get caught up. What's Mr. Brown's background?
Judge, it appears he has a pending possession of heroin under case number 172513 CF10A. Let me just.
Your Honor, that was advertised on him yesterday as a bond surrender.
And what does that mean? I'm sorry.
Oh, the bondsman surrendered, his bond was surrendered, so the case is now on him. He has a count for.
Okay.
He's in custody on that case.
Okay, but that means that if he could still post his own bond even though the bondsman turned the bond in, yes?
He has to post it again.
Okay, all right, but is this possession of cocaine?
Separate case.
It's a separate case, and did this occur after the possession of heroin?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, I'm still interested in just getting rid of the open container so we don't have to deal with that in the future. But Mr. Brown, I'm gonna leave the bond on possession of cocaine on the $1,000, but I am going to sua sponte revoke your bond in the possession of heroin case. So you're gonna be held no bond. Are you still interested in pleading out the open container so we can be done with that?
Okay. He still wants to resolve the open container.
All right, very good. Sir, please raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you solemnly swear affirm testimony you're about to give is truth?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hand down. You understand that you have a right to have a trial and to have witnesses brought against you as it relates to the open container charge? You're giving up your right to a trial. You understand that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Is anyone forcing you or threatening you in any way to plead no contest to that open container charge?
No, ma'am.
You've had the right to have an attorney represent you. You've had an opportunity to speak to her. You're satisfied with her services, and you're giving this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to go ahead at this time and accept a no contest plea from you, withhold adjudication, time serve you on the open container, give you a year to pay any court costs associated with that case. And we'll do the rest of the paperwork regarding your other case. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, Michael Joseph Constant. Mr. Constant's there at the main jail. Mr. Constant, you have a long list of things here, and you also, unfortunately, have a violation of probation case based on the violation of probations for charges, or for charges numbers 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15. The judge assigned to your case is requesting that you be held no bond. You do have a court hearing with that judge on October 27th at 8:45 in the morning, so you do have a hearing coming up on that. With regards to the remainder of your charges, possession with intent on heroin, possession of cannabis, possession with intent deliver cocaine, possession with intent deliver alprazolam, possession intent deliver cannabis, possession with intent deliver hydromorphine, also known as Dilaudid, possession of MDMA, trafficking in oxycodone, and distribution, delivery of alprazolam. All of those charges in the order that I listed them bring with them bond amounts of $2,500, $1,000, $2,500, $1,000, $1,000, $2,500, $1,000, $75,000, and $1,000. You'll be held no bond on those other matters until you see your judge. I do find probable cause. Good luck to you, sir. Charles Williams.
Christopher Williams?
I'm sorry, Christopher Williams. I apologize. All right, Mr. Williams, you are charged with 1 count of burglary of an occupied structure unarmed. Can you tell me a little bit, can the state tell me a little bit about Mr. Williams's background?
Yes, Your Honor, a 2004 possession of cocaine, a 2004 unlawful use of a false name, no valid DL, attaching an unassigned tag, 2004 trespass, 2006 delivery of cocaine, 2008 possession of cannabis, a misdemeanor amount, 2010 a resisting without violence, trespass, leaving the scene of an accident with property damage, 2010 2 counts of petty theft, 2010 resisting without violence, no valid DL, 2014 delivery of cocaine, 2011 resisting without violence, misuse of the 911 system, and 2015 no valid DL.
Recommendation from the state regarding a bond?
State is recommending $10,000 bond.
I do find probable cause. Ms. Lawrence, anything on behalf of your client?
Yes, Mr. Williams cannot afford that. He said the only thing he can afford is $1,000 bond. He has no job. He lives in Florida his whole life, and he has 5 kids that live with him, Your Honor.
I'm sorry for his circumstances, but given his prior background and the circumstances of this particular probable cause affidavit, I'm going to approve the recommendation of the state and set a $10,000 bond for him. Good luck to you, sir. Scott Desaugusti? Good morning, sir. I have 7 different matters here to address with you this morning. Unfortunately, 2 of them are going to keep you as a no bond hold. So, but you do have a court hearing with your judge based on the violation of probation and/or community control. You'll see your judge on October 25th at 2 o'clock in the morning. The charges that I find probable cause for and set the following bonds: selling drug schedule 1A. At a $2,500 bond, trafficking in oxycodone for $500,000. We have possession with intent of alprazolam set at $1,000, possession of a controlled substance without a prescription at $1,000, and possession of buprenorphine, which is also $1,000. Sir, good luck to you.
Your Honor, I just want to make a comment. On count 2, he has a $500,000 bond. That I understand that he has some violations of probation, but Mr. How do you say it? DeAugust is currently in drug court, so it doesn't seem like he could have that much of a prior history. The $500,000 bond is paramount to no bond, Your Honor. So at this time, I would be asking if you can reduce the count 2 bond, because there's no way that he would ever be able to afford that bond, especially because he he only had a cleaning job where he's making minimal money, and he has kids as well that he has to support, Your Honor.
And I can appreciate that, but he was also out on 2 different case numbers, a 2013 and a 2016 felony probation, which apparently is violated. If he wants to discuss with the assigned judge lowering the trafficking and oxycodone bond once he has an opportunity to review his circumstances, I'm happy to have that judge do that, but I'm not inclined to do it at this time. Good luck to you, sir. Kevin Constant? Mr. Constant, good morning. Unfortunately, there's not too much I can do for you this morning either. You do have a violation of probation pending. Your judge wants to see you on the 17th of this month at 9 o'clock. You'll be held no bond until you see the judge. You also have a new charge of possession of cocaine and possession of cannabis and possession of drug paraphernalia. The possession of cocaine comes with it a $1,000 bond. We'll maintain that bond at this time, and you'll see your judge on the 17th. Good luck to you, sir. Stanford Williams. Mr. Williams, good morning. I have here before me a possession of heroin charge pending before me today. I do find probable cause on the possession of heroin. I'd like to hear from the state. You want to maintain the standard $1,000 bond, or you want me to reconsider it?
Your Honor, he also has a pending retail theft in case number 1710805 CF10A. It does appear that it happened prior to this arrest date. I'm asking on this bond amount that it be raised to $3,000.
Anything from the defense?
Yes, Your Honor. I would ask you keep the standard bond set, Your Honor. He has no job. He had an interview coming up this Tuesday at a warehouse. So at that, I would ask if you can keep it at 1,000.
And Mr. Williams, unfortunately, no matter what I do with that case, I am inclined to sua sponte revoke your bond in your other pending case. It appears that you violated your conditions of your bond in your first case by picking up this new charge, so I'm going to have you held no bond on the case number recited by the state. You'll prepare an order for me, and I'll just maintain this $1,000 bond here. Good luck to you, sir. Sean Wilson. Mr. Wilson, you have a charge of possession of heroin before me this morning. It carries with it a standard $1,000 bond. Does Mr. Wilson have a background?
It appears he has a pending case, possession of cocaine and drug paraphernalia, case number 1790603 CF10A.
Mr. Wilson, it appears that you have a pending charge already, and that this charge would could potentially violate the terms of the condition of the bond that you set previously. Unless you have any reason for me to consider otherwise, at this time I'm going to go ahead and maintain the $1,000 bond in this particular case, but I am sua sponte revoking your bond in the other case number that the state referenced. You'll be held no bond until you can see your judge on both of these matters. Good luck to you, sir. Thomas Kelly Kitts. Mr. Kitts, good morning. We have several different cases we have to go over with you. You appear to have a status in one of your cases on October 19th at 1:30. That's on the misdemeanor case. Is that the case that has the traffic capias open on it?
Yes, and there's a bond set in that, Your Honor. There's a $500 bond
Set on that, but he also happens to have a hearing on the matter too, so even if he were to bond out, I wanted to let him know you do have a hearing pending on your misdemeanor case.
October 19th.
On October 9:30 at 1:30, yes, sir. In the meantime, I have a sale of oxycodone, a possession of cocaine, a driving while license suspended. The oxycodone carries with it $2,500, $1,000 bond on the possession of cocaine, and $100 on the driving while license suspended. Anything the state want me to consider regarding Mr. Kitts and his bonds?
One moment, Your Honor. I'm asking for a $5,000 bond on count one, Your Honor.
And the reason for that is?
Based on the fact that he picked this up while having another pending case.
You're saying the driving with suspended license? That's the reason the state's asking?
The failure to report an accident.
Okay.
So the capias traffic matter that he has is what, if being involved in an accident and failure to report? Is that what the capias was for?
That's attached to the driving while license suspended, which also carries a failure to report an accident with it.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure it involves somebody hitting him.
Well, the driving while license suspended is the one that's the capias that has the $500. So,
I was actually, Your Honor, going to ask if you would consider decreasing the bond on the sale of oxycodone. Mr. Kidd said that his wife, his girlfriend, would be posting the bond, and that she could potentially be able to post a $2,000 bond. So I would ask if you could reduce count one to 1,000.
Well, I'm not inclined to do so, and honestly, I was considering revoking his bond in the misdemeanor case, so I'm just gonna leave it as is, and if he can bond, that's fine, but otherwise, he's gonna have to wait. So
Okay, thank you.
I'm maintaining, yeah. It is.
Yes, and that count two is attached to that case number.
Yeah, I'm not, it's on the dock, it's a non-issue to me, he's got these bonds pending right now, and he's been told this next hearing date, so sir, you'll see, if you bond out, you'll go to court on the 19th, make sure you go, if you don't bond out, they'll bring you over there, okay, good luck to you. Travis Thomas,
Nobody else at me, Your Honor.
okay, where, Mr. Thomas is where? Anyone, Paul Ryan, Mr. Thomas, anyone? The main jail is completely finished.
Yes, he bonded.
All right, thank you. Ms. Lawrence, thank you for your time this morning. We'll see you maybe tomorrow. All right, so Mr. Thomas bonded, I'm finding probable cause. We have Santiago Echeverra Moreno bonded.
Yes, I'll see you tomorrow, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, I'll find probable cause on the person, the gentleman that just bonded, Daniel Scott Ritz. Where's Mr. Ritz? Anyone can tell me where Mr. Ritz is?
I believe that's him at North Broward.
In North Broward, Mr. Ritz, is that you?
That's not Mr. Ritz on medical loan, Your Honor.
Medical loan, all right?
have one.
Then who do we have standing at North Broward at the podium, sir? I'll take your case since I can't seem to find anyone else.
Jason Mutro.
Perfect, Mr. Mutro, good morning.
Good morning.
I am not going to be able to help you very much this morning, other than to let you know that you do have a hearing coming up in a few days with your assigned judge. You appear to have a violation of probation or community control. You're being requested to be held with your judge, no bond, pending a hearing, but the hearing is set pretty quick. You'll see the judge on the 17th at 9 o'clock.
There's been a mistake. I early terminated probation on Tuesday. The state attorney should have copies of that. And I got arrested Thursday for the new charge, but I early terminated my probation for that charge on Wednesday, the 11th.
The 11th of this month?
Yes.
Okay, let's see if we can help you out here.
I really appreciate it.
No problem. That's what I'm here for.
I paid all the money, and they said upon the $200 payment, I was off, and I went straight to the probation office. I paid $1,000 on JPay because that's all you can pay, and then I paid the other $296. I gave them a $300 money order from MoneyGram.
Your Honor, I do see a disposition dated on 10/11 saying defense motion to terminate probation upon payment of the $200 owed.
Yeah, and I paid it. I went straight to the office and paid it. So even the arresting officer called my probation officer and said, "Oh, is this going to violate him?" He must have put in the paperwork wrong because he spoke to my officer, the arresting officer, and he said, "The violation's not in there." He said, "Correct," because I was in the hospital. I overdosed, and that's why, and I should be off of probation. There's some type of clerical error, so I should have a bond,
Your Honor, this is a 94806. It's a warrantless arrest. So it's not issued by a judge. When he was arrested on the 12th, the officer put it on him. But I can't confirm if the clerk's office received payment, but his dispo from the 11th does say it's to terminate upon payment.
My probation officer's name is Miss Dixon. She has my payment. I'm telling you, I paid it already. I have receipts in my car.
Okay. You have receipts in your car?
Yeah, and it's
Okay.
just I can't have access to my car because I'm in jail.
I understand. Let's talk about, I'll consider releasing you on the VOP, but let's talk about your other charges. 'Cause I have two pieces of paper here. One of them says he has a possession of heroin for a $100 bond, and the other one says a $1,000 bond, so. Is there a typo on this? Was he on medical reset before?
He was a yes, Your Honor.
And so his heroin charge should be a $1,000 bond, correct? Not 100, as showing up on this paperwork. This must be a typo.
Oh, mine shows $1,000, Your Honor.
No, mine shows 100. Okay. All right.
He does have priors, Your Honor.
Tell me about his priors.
2005, dealing in stolen property and petty theft. 2007, possession of cannabis, resisting without violence, unlawful tag. 2007, possession of cocaine, drug paraphernalia. 2008, a grand theft, resisting a merchant without violence. 2008, a theft and a possession of drug without a prescription. 2008, a burglary, a grand theft in the third degree, and a possession of burg tools. 2008, operating a vehicle without a license. 2008, operating against a license restriction. 2010, failure to register vehicle, as well as another one in 2010. 2014, a DWLS. 2014, possession of hydromorphone, possession of drug paraphernalia. 2015, possession of drug paraphernalia, no DL. 2015 is the case, the burglary that Your Honor's looking at the disposition for, and then these charges, Your Honor.
Yeah. And my mom is the one who pressed charges on me on the burger. I fell asleep on the patio because I was using. I know it doesn't matter,
Well, but this is the problem. You keep talking about using, and you keep talking about telling me that you owed. I think you mentioned something about an overdose.
Yeah,
So-
and I
and-
really
and
learned
you-
how that.
And you got off probation on the 11th, and then you pick up a new charge on heroin on the 12th. So there's a problem here, is there not?
Yeah,
Okay. Do you have the ability to post $1,000 bond?
I do.
I don't know that that's in your best interest, to tell you the truth.
And Judge, my concern with the VOP case is we have no way to know if the money has actually been received.
Yeah, but I
by-
mean, I'm looking at the dispo order. It says upon payment of $200 owed, probation to terminate automatically. So how do I mean, that's.
I agree. I understand what Your Honor's saying. I just have to put it on the record.
I understand.
I have receipts. I can bring them in if you need me, Joe. You know, I
What
have school. I go to college and I work. I'm in my third year IT student. I have class on Tuesday.
Okay.
And I'm missing my job right now at Supercuts.
Okay,
So-
and then we're still ignoring why you're here. I
I
mean,
need to call my sponsor and go to meetings. That's what I need to do.
obviously. I'm going to increase the bond on the heroin slightly and take off the no bond hold on the probation violation. You'll need to go talk to your probation officer and make sure the paperwork's put through to show
I
that.
will. First
you're-
thing.
But, you're only hurting yourself here, sir. It sounds like if you've got a job and going to school, you have a future ahead of you. You just need to do something about the rest of this problem that you've got going on right now. I'll increase the bond on the heroin charge to $3,000 and release the no bond hold. I'll release him on ROR on the violation of probation pending verification of the payment.
So once I bond out, I should just go to the probation office and have them submit it.
Yes, so that it shows on your record that your probation's been terminated. But your bigger responsibility is calling your sponsor and getting yourself back on track. Otherwise, you're just gonna end up right back here again. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
He's just released on count 4. He can submit that on his own.
I'm sorry, what?
He's just ROR on count 4.
Yes, I'm RORing him on count 4. Bray, Mr. Bray, Travis Bray.
Paul Ryan, facility, Your Honor.
Thank you. Switching to Paul Ryan. Good morning, Mr. Bray. I have here a
Good morning.
battery second subsequent offense, and it's being charged as a felony. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because it's
Yeah, it's being charged as a felony battery based on priors.
Okay, all right. What's the state's recommendation? Tell me a little bit about Mr. Bray. I have to look at his probable cause affidavit. It's not attached to my paperwork.
He has, his priors are 2005, no DL, failure to register a vehicle, another no valid DL in 2005. Failure to register a vehicle in 2006, 2008 DWLS, 2008 resisting an officer without violence, unlawful use of a false name, possession of drug paraphernalia, 2008 a burglary, an armed burglary of a structure, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and a battery. 2012, a DWLS. 2011, resisting without violence, loitering and prowling. 2013, a petty theft. 2015, a DWLS and a grand theft of a motor vehicle. 2015, a DWLS. 2016, robbery, sudden snatching with no weapon and a grand theft auto. Also, a tampering with a witness, a victim in a case, and a battery. And he has 2 pending cases. One that this is a change of charge on it, but the other one is a felony battery, domestic strangulation, false imprisonment, and felony battery with prior conviction. I'm trying to.
But is the ones that you just mentioned that are open, are those associated with this case number? Because I just pulled the case number up and it says domestic battery by strangulation.
What case number do you have associated with this battery second?
1710285.
He also has a 178606 CF10A, and that's 3 counts of criminal mischief, felony criminal mischief, and a trespass.
And the date of the offense in that?
That is July 24th, 2017. So it happened prior to this, Your Honor.
And just the FYI, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
He was placed in magistrate court on September 3rd for counts 1, 2, and 3. 3 is what we changed the charge on, is he received pretrial Elmo on all charges. So I don't know if you're inclined to put him back on count 3 on pretrial.
No, I'm not, because we're gonna have to revoke his bond on the other case, so.
Your Honor, if I may, this isn't new today. He's been through magistrate on this case before. It's a change of charge. It's actually down file. When it first came through magistrate, it was a 2nd-degree felony. It's been down filed to a 3rd-degree felony. So he's been through magistrate already, and when he came through the first time, he was given bond, and on at least on counts 1 and 2, it was a $5,000 bond, $5,000 bond, and if he posted, it would have been with pretrial and an electronic monitor. I don't think he ever got out of custody. I don't think he was able to actually post.
Okay.
Sorry? And so it's not that it's a new case. He's been through magistrate on this already. He's at the state down
Just because another
filed it.
judge didn't happen to notice or wasn't told that he had already a pending charge open and that this would violate the conditions of his release and his other charge doesn't mean that I'm not going to consider that today. And I'm going to revoke his bond on the other case. He has a monetary bond on these case numbers. I'll just maintain the original bond that was set on count 3 originally, which was what, 5,000?
It was originally 10,000.
10,000. So I'm maintaining that bond. The changing of the actual charge doesn't take away from the allegations of the case. So I'm maintaining it and revoking his bond in the other case number. If the state will prepare an order for me. Thank you, sir. Good luck to you.
All right.
All right, Christopher Frank.
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning.
All right.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir. It appears that you maybe already have gone through magistrate. We've got a few more charges pending here. Number 2 is a burglary with assault or battery. Number 3 is a battery of a person 65 years of age or older. And then the 6th one is a capias on a felony, case number 179443, CF10A.
Your Honor, he has a private attorney, Greg Chanillo. I don't know if Mr. Frank wants to proceed today or if he wants to reset this to get Mr. Chanillo here.
Sir, you have the right to have your private attorney present for your hearing. I don't know if your attorney was aware of this today. I don't know if this may just be an administrative matter today, is it not?
Yes, Judge, it's a technical change of charge. Yesterday, the 2 co-defendants on this case were found proof evident presumption great by Judge Barner, and they're being held no bond. I'm asking that you hold this defendant no bond. I'm not asking for an Arthur hearing, but I'm asking you hold him no bond for his judge he's assigned to.
But did he come through on the other charge already?
I believe so yesterday with all the co-defendants, but his is a technical change of charge.
Sir, were you here in court yesterday as well?
No.
No. Have you been to court on these charges yet, or is this your first time?
I've never been to court. It's my first time.
Okay, and you have a right to have the lawyer that's assigned, that's working on your case be present today. So was your lawyer aware of the fact that you were going to be on the docket for today?
I don't know if he was or not, but I'd like to talk to my lawyer about all this.
Okay, and we have a name of a private attorney?
Greg Gerlano.
It shows as Greg, how do you pronounce it, Chanillo?
Genoa, yeah.
I mean, it's Saturday, I don't know I don't know if I'm gonna be able to reach them or not. The best I can do is call their offices and ask that you be brought back again, tomorrow.
I think I got court Monday.
You do have court on Monday. You do have
Okay.
court on Monday with your assigned judge, so you have the right to have a hearing today if you wish to have your hearing, or you can have it rolled over to Monday where your lawyer will be present. And I would just find today to have you held no bond until you see your judge on Monday.
I'll just wait for my lawyer,
Okay.
for my attorney. Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
God bless.
The issue with that is he's currently being held for magistrate, and they don't always address bonds when they go.
I know, I'm gonna do his bond hearing, holding him no bond today. And I'm gonna find proof evident presumption great, have him held no bond with a note to Judge Duffy that she can readdress his bond amounts with his lawyer on Monday. That's what you want, sir, right?
I don't have, I'm gonna wait and have my lawyer handle everything.
Okay. Okay. It is a first, it is.
Well, he's here for 4 counts.
She can hold him no bond on those counts, and she's binding.
They don't address the bonds at his court hearing Monday.
His lawyer will address
Yeah.
his bond hearings on Monday. They'll set him down for an Arthur hearing.
Monday is it was. It says I have an arraignment.
Is as an arraignment. He can ask, his lawyer can ask for a bond hearing at the arraignment time and get something from the judge set then. You'll see your lawyer on Monday, sir, for your arraignment, okay? No,
Thank
he's
you, ma'am.
not
Have a
coming
blessed-
back to magistrate. Okay?
I don't have to come back to magistrate?
No, sir, you do not. We'll see you Monday with your assigned judge and your lawyer, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Antonio Nunnally?
He's at the Conti facility, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good morning, Conti. Sir, good morning. I have a flee and disregard of safety to persons or property. This a change of charge?
Your Honor, this is another one. He was initially booked in on a pretrial warrant. Count 1 was no bond. While he was in custody, the charge was changed. I don't know if you want to honor the no bond on the warrant or set a bond, but that's the warrant that he's in custody on that.
Thank you. And does the public defender's office represent him? Yes, Your Honor. Okay. Give us a moment, sir, to review your paperwork. We're just seeing it for the first time, okay? I know it's been a long morning. We're almost done. So it was just handed to me. Is this for this gentleman? No, I'm looking at the wrong.
Yeah, this is.
Oh, you know what? It's two-sided. I was reading somebody else's paperwork. Sorry. So this is Mr. Antonio Michael Nunnally.
So what I'm seeing is it was a change of charge. However, Judge Duffy, the judge he's assigned to, has a no bond hold on him for failure to comply with his pretrial release.
That's what I'm reading too.
So that's why he's being held no bond.
And he has an arraignment on the 16th.
Okay, so, sir, at this juncture, it appears from our review of the paperwork that you were out on some sort of pretrial release, that you violated the terms, alleged to have been violated the terms of your pretrial release, that you were not home, or that you left your home without permission on September 4th between the hours of 11:54 and 11:08 p.m. For that day, you left multiple times without permission. This information was brought to Judge Duffy. She revoked your conditions of your pretrial release and asked that you be held no bond until you can see her. You happen to have a court hearing with her on Monday morning, so you can talk to her on Monday morning about what happened and see if she wants to reconsider your holding you no bond, okay?
Okay.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
And
Your Honor,
last but not
wait,
least.
I'm confused because I'm looking at
Wait, come back,
BSO's,
sir.
yeah,
Come
I'm looking
back,
at
sir.
BSO's information. I see where they have the warrant for the VOP pretrial, but that's separate than this charge because this was a change of charge from the state. And so I think he's entitled to bond on this count. I think the VOP, or the violation of pretrial rather, are separate issues.
No,
believe.
I think what he was placed on, when he was originally charged, he was placed on pretrial release for fleeing and eluding. They've changed the charge of fleeing and eluding to the charge that's before us today, but that still doesn't dispel the fact that Judge Duffy believes that he violated the terms of his pretrial release, irrespective of what his charge was, yes?
He just happened to receive a COC while in custody, but he's in custody on a no bond
Yes.
violation of his pretrial.
Okay, all right, so, sir, we've got it right. You'll see Judge Duffy on Monday, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, good luck to you. Okay, and last but not least, we have Brandon Barr. Where's Mr. Barr? Which jail?
Bar, I have that he was released.
Well, he shouldn't have been.
He's held no
Well,
bond.
something, it was dismissed. I don't know what happened overnight, but they apparently dismissed his 948 violation.
So
And he was
he
released.
bonded?
Well, he was released,
He was released, like he's no longer in custody, he went bye-bye.
so
I had to look at the
released
county.
before
I just put no action.
court.
Yes, it was a 948, so something
Hearing.
may have happened and they dismissed it. And he was
All right, so that's a wrap, everyone. Thank you so much. I apologize.
On the docket, it has to do with the case. The client's name is Giovanni Leone. It's case number 17-11320 CF10A. I received an email from my office this morning. This is someone in custody at North Broward. They slipped and fell last night. BSO reached out to our office to let them know about the injury. We just want an order from your honor, just allowing us to go take pictures of the injury.
That's fine.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you all.
Hold on, there's one over that the judge